Tomorrow is a hope, never a promise.
Gripping with my cold hands the shapes I used to take. I don't like a strong man, but it's easier to push away. 'Cause it could all end here with a strange daylight caught in our eyes, and my shadow is stretching out through all the things I left behind. It's in my blood, it's in my veins. Oh, it's in my blood, it's in my veins. Got my heel crushing the snake. There is nothing you can take. In my blood, it's in my veins. I'm still here. Maybe it's a far stretch that I won't come undone, but I will brave the cold edge to finish up what I've begun. 'Cause it could all end here with the strange daylight caught in our eyes, and my shadow stretching out. Is it all enough this time? I'm still here. Reasons cut like knives, keep on playing in my mind. All the times I've had to fight, I'm still It's in my blood, it's in my veins. I'm still here. I'm still
Though that this is warded,
Yeah.
Fervent still would like to enter regardless if it was warded or not, even though Chris is already, I think, stalling a lot of time, surprisingly enough, no? Because, oh, Gracia Just Focus baits it out, but I feel like the damage might be enough for Just Focus to get killed here. But there is the call! The Feather Storm going in! Just a counter engage from MCOM Limit! It's just...
Now they just now have no more turrets and they have the Baron buff. They can look to end this possibly. Azure positioning himself in the back end. There's a Glacier Prison finding Just Focus. Was able to tank it out for Limit. However, it will be Azure in the back end trying to find a kill. Limit goes down the best. That's the ADC down. Corky, Ame finally kill Ember's Divine defensively. But it looks like Siren. Breaker being charged up, but I don't think he wants to really commit this. Just repositioning on forward. Raging does have the unstoppable force available, but I mean, going for Kreza isn't really the most valuable of picks. While Azure, by the way, is pushing out the top lane, but looks like the Magnets are gonna come on
engage!
the 4 players! Lightning Crash comes on as well. Cyclone to try and counter engage, but Raging ends up falling as well as done with the double 2 kills on the play. It will be the double kill from Mish, and it will be Mental on low HP. The dive in as well from Kreze will get the double kill as well, and it will be a triple kill from Mish. So much kill pressure. Also having around an 80% kill participation at the moment with, 1 kill and 4 assists. Look at the bait play, and there's the Magnetic Storm, but they don't realize Kageyoshi's still there. They thought he backed away, and they don't have the Glens available this time. Glacier Prison was utilized as well, and Tempo will be getting the kill at the Limit. So Just Focus will be getting Permafrosted as well. Trying to finish the round, gets a crash down. However, the Wild Growth is there, and it
for NJ.
Azra.
Pick ups. Wait ko mamala kay Azra, but he's not gonna go and fight for Limit, who's in the back line. And here comes the Glacier Prison coming through. MCE, they're looking to collapse despite the tower. And the True Project doesn't deal enough damage from Don as he gets jumped this time by the Dredge line. Just Focus ba yung tinamaan niya, no? But he's still gonna want to look for a fight kasi anyone can get chipped down. Raging is not tanking enough, and Fateless is gonna go into the back line, shuts down Limit, perfect execution, gets both carries, and Fateless keeps the dream alive for Emin. Instead they're setting up mid-line fights. That's the
the target this time. Completely a good idea kasi gagawin niya. This time, it is Rupert that is taken down. But still, Azure taken down as well. Kaso lang, sino ang atake kay Mish? Pati kay Ame, wala na! Ngayon, 3 versus 3, kakayanin naman ang dami ng low HP members dito sa side ng Zenith Esports, and they're just obliterated.
Welcome back to Recall. We just wrapped up Group A last weekend, and we now have our first teams advancing to the playoffs. The rift is getting louder as this group made waves with their incredible plays. But the action doesn't stop there. Let's dive right into this week's Recall. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Poch Estrada, your guide through the action here on Recall. This is your weekly recap for everything Liga Republika. Now, let's jump right into the Group A highlights and see what went down. First off, a big congratulations to MCOM Esports Club and Fervent Esports Club. They've secured the top seeds in Group A and are now advancing to the playoffs. Welcome to the big leagues, boys. Now, it's time to break down the highlights that happened in Group A. MCOM Esports had a rocky start entering the group stage, losing their first match to Fervent Esports in the first game of Day 1. However, the team was able to pick themselves up, and MCOM's strong bot lane duo, Limit and Just Focus, were able to push the team ahead to win the rest of their matches on both days of Group A, earning a solid 5-1 record to progress in the Liga Republika Playoffs. Fervent Esports, on the other hand, had a more tumultuous journey in the group stage, after winning their first match against MCOM.
Welcome back to Liga Republika. The group of death is now upon us once again. Drop out Candy. On the mic, kasama ko si Boss Daydum ulit. Another match going with you today. WPA West Point Esports Academy versus Batang 90s. Two teams that hasn't really gotten their first win yet. So they're looking to get their first win. Surprisingly enough, these are the two teams you don't expect to go 0-1 after all.
Yeah, but that's the group of death for you, Doc. That's what happens. B90s, well, we've talked about them earlier because of their first matchup. They're the veterans of the scene. They've been around for a long time, right? But I guess you can say the same for a majority of the players for West Point Academy as well, right? You got players like Agrono, Devoured, Mist. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. West Point Academy, these players, they've been around since the collegiate era. They've been around since a long time ago. And now they're crossing paths once more here at the group stage here in Liga Republika. But they haven't had the best starts, have they? I mean, Batang 90s, they got, let's just say it, they got beat down earlier. And West Point, it was no cakewalk for them either in that first game. But they got us trace headstrong here at this point because it is still a chance for them to get back, right? I mean, it's still a group stage here. They have until tomorrow to adjust and win as many games as they can. And I'm excited to see just how well they're going to perform, but not as excited to thank our partners who made this event possible. Thank you so much, of course, to Riots and Day One for making this a possibility. Liga Republika would not be here without those sponsors.
Also, thank you as well for Day One, as well as the Games and Amusements Board of the Philippines, as nabasbasan niya tayo dito. Thank you so much for that for happening. My goodness! We're headed to the game soon enough, I think. I'm excited for the picks bands because I think Batang 90s, they're like the ringer, I think, for this group. Because if WPA goes 0-2, it's gonna be so funny. Like, honestly, like WPA going 0-2 is like not a good sign for them because the chances of you getting out, I think in every week the group that goes 1-2 don't get out. So it's very, very unlikely that happens.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Maybe they could pull a reverse here if they do get to that point. But it's too early to count our eggs here, dog. It's just their first game of the day here. This is their second for both of these squads. And we're headed into the Champ Select here. The draft is at hand. A couple of bands through. And surprise, surprise, Batang 90s actually giving a little bit of a salute to Mike Han there. I was expecting a full-on 3-stack of bands against Devoured here. But let's see. Just a Viego band on out against Devoured. LeBlanc against Mike Han. Meanwhile, West Point do ban a couple of junglers this time against Dodoy. So respect where it's due. As the Lee Sin outs, as well as the Nidalee. So I wonder what the priority pick here is going to be. Maybe it's something like a Sejuani for West Point, or maybe something like a support for Batang 90s.
Yeah, respect on the Ori ban there because they don't want to go Nocturne Oriana later on. Lilia ban for the Doi. So I think first pick, please don't go Ashe first pick. I'm begging you, please. Like, there's so many games that the Ashe was like not useful at all here for our series. You want Ashe? No, don't go Ashe first pick. Like, it's good on paper, but it's not like the most important pick out of all of them, right? Because like you have the Ezreal Rumble. It's such a powerful comp now suddenly, right? So they will first pick Ashe, albeit to my demise, right? But this is like the third time the Ashe goes first priority pick. And it might be the third time that it might be the losing pick again on pick ban. But for the Doi, they have the top lane pick for the side of WPA. Maybe pick top lane first on 2-3. Be a good indication here. Sorrel will be the support picked up here. So I think Mid King wants to pick not a mid laner. Yep, Kennen top. That's the first time we've seen Kennen here. For RC. I think the last time we saw Kennen was, I think, a couple of weeks ago too, or during open qualifiers. But Poppy, this is a smart pickup for Zeros if it does happen, because it counters like 2 champions already for the side of Batang 90s, but instead of just hovering on the Rakan instead, should be locked in shortly. And wow, okay. Just a scare.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too early if they pop the Poppy pick for now. As of yet, there's only one champion they could counter with that. That's the Brel. But yeah, I'm not too stoked about a couple of picks from Batang 90s either here, dog. I'm a little bit worried in the damage dealing department. I mean, sure, they got a lot of setup potential, a lot of engage, especially with the Kennen. But 2 things worry me here, dog. One, they don't have as much damage as they might hope to. And another, picking a Kennen blind might not be the best idea here. I mean, sure, you could argue that you could say for sureness that it is a Rumble top lane, but could very well be flexed onto the support or maybe even the mid lane for that matter. But I guess there you go. That's the one worry I have for Batang 90's comp. Meanwhile, for West Point, they have many of their bases covered here. They got the engage, they got their damage locked up, and they've got the safety for the Ezreal as well. Running away from the poke of an Ashe is something very essential, as our past couple of matches have shown. So I do like the setup here for West Point Academy. The couple of bans to come through here is gonna be another one for the jungler and another one for the ADC side, which is quite curious. Something they could pick on the middle side is that Lucian, of course. But I wonder what Mid King is going to be picking up here. Something like a Silas from Batang 90s, I wouldn't mind necessarily. But I guess it depends on what Mist is going to be picking up here for their next rotation of picks.
Pick the Hecarim. Devoured plays Hecarim.
He loves it.
That's his favorite champion. Come on. Come on. You can play the Hecarim. Volibear top. That's a Volibear jungle. He also plays Volibear jungle, so that's fine. If he wants to play it, go for it. Yeah, Hecarim! Yeah! Yes, sir! We got a Hecarim locked in. And again, like, there's so many junglers banned here for the side of Battle 90s and WPA. If all goes to shove, Devoured just insta-lock the Hecarim. Like, that's his signature champion.
Yep.
He likes playing the Hecarim a lot, so I'm glad that he's able to play it here. The first time on Liga Republika, but currently getting not really counter pick. So another dude riding a boar that is the Sejuani. Yon will be the final pick here. So we have a mid Yon, top Kennen, as well as Sejuani on the jungle. Let's see what this mid pick here for the side of WPA will be, because honestly I don't know what they're gonna pick. I think Nazir is a safe pick, Corki is a safe pick, but they don't have an AP, so the Vex might be used here. First time on the Rift, will it be? Ari, give me that Faker skin. Let's go.
Yeah. Ari gonna be locked up here for Maikahan. And there you go. Both compositions locked and ready for our game here. The fourth game of the day. Batang 90s West Point both having a very rough start to the day. Who will come out on top in this matchup? Let's see here. Some quick analysis of their comps here. I do like the comp of West Point Esports Academy more. More on my argument earlier is Devoured on that Hecarim. I think Batang 90s kind of slipped. They're letting the Hecarim pull through here for Devoured.
Yes, sir.
Loves playing the macro with that. Very, very smart here, Devoured, with the Hecarim locked up. Always goes for the full clear, and you don't know where he's going to gank first. And that Hecarim is going to terrorize later on if you give him the snowball. And I'm scared here for Batang 90s because they don't necessarily have a lot of shutdown potential for that Hecarim. I mean, who's going to invade him or hunt that Hecarim down while he's power farming? Is it going to be the Kennen? No. Is it going to be the Sejuani 1v1ing a Hecarim? I don't think so. Mid King can, but I think he's going to be pretty occupied by Mike Kan's Ari here. So, yeah, I'm pretty scared here for Batang 90s, with West Point getting a lot of comfort picks, a lot of damage, and a pretty good setup for their team fights. I'm tipping my hat to West Point here in the draft. I think they have the superior draft in this game.
Superior draft, I guess, but I think you forget to realize that the Rumble doesn't really have like a lockdown stun for the entire team of WPA. Because yes, you have the charm, right? But it moves you a little bit further. Also, Devoured goes a little bit farther away. The only consistent ult you get is probably from Ben with the Grand Entrance plus the quickness coming from him. But every ability that they do is always moving away from the equalizer. So it really depends on where the equalizer will land through that WPA might be able to get the win here. But for Batang 90s, this Kennen top works a lot just because nakalaban niya yung Rumble too. He can initiate the 1v1s. Slicing Maelstrom is such a good ability in coming into the team fight. And it's so easy to set up too with the comp that they have, Magnetic Storm into Slicing Maelstrom. That's like the entire team comp. That's AoE stun for days, and suddenly Mid King has one Fate Seal to go, and suddenly that's an ace for Batang 90. So ako, sa palagay ko, I feel like Batang 90s has a better comp against WPA. What I do worry though is devoured when he power farms, nga sabi mo nga. That's the one problem. If they're able to shut down devoured and not power farm against the Doi with the Sejuani, I feel like they have a chance to get their first win here.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. So 1-for-1 here. One thing I love about the comp for West Point, though, Doc, here is they have so much setup potential. I mean, you got the Hecarim startup. I mean, discarding the Rumble argument here, discarding the Equalizer argument, what does West Point have that can force the issue, can be the aggressor here of this fight? I mean, they got the quickness, they've got the onslaught of shadows, they got the charm as well from Ahri, they got a ton of roaming potential with that Ahri too. I already love that part, and then when you add on the team fighting potential that they have with the Rumble is what I love about their comp the most, right? But let's wait and see. At the end of the day, it's all about execution, right? I mean, you could also say the same for Batang 90s comp, right? You got the Slicing Maelstrom, Sedge ults, Yone ults, even, well, actually, if you consider their comp, they all have in the initiation, right? So again, it's gonna boil down into how they're gonna play the map and how they're going to weather this mental game. The question is, though, Doc, Devoured is somewhat known to being a player that is an all-or-nothing kind of player. He either dominates the game or he kind of falls off mental-wise. So the question is, can he weather out that first game loss earlier? Is he still up for this game against Batang 90s, especially in his comfort champ? That's gonna tell a lot in this game.
Yeah, Feast or Famine, true and Batang 90s. They're here to play. If you want Batang 90s to get their first win here, give us a hashtag B90win. But if you want West Point Esports Academy to get their first W of the day, give us a hashtag WPA win to lock in your choice, man. We're still looking at your comments there, looking at your comments as well as your cheers or your jeers for the enemy team and your favorite team. So, tignan natin kung sino mapapanalo dito. Still a lot of team looking for Batang 90s to win here kasi my goodness, Batang 90s, they are a very crowd favorite. Like, you don't really expect them to get out of open qualies because they've been going at it for a couple of weeks too. So I'm just glad they were able to have their spot here and giving us a taste of some old league. You know, back in the day na league looked very different.
Yep.
Compared to now.
Man, I miss old Irelia. We always talk about this. GG
Oh
and
my
me when
gosh,
we're
old
casting
Irelia. Can we
together.
talk about the old days, man? We're gonna talk about the old days, right?
My
It's a
favorites
cross.
were my favorites were old Irelia #1 and #2 old Evelyn. I love playing Bruiser hybrid Evelyn with Sated Devourer.
Oh my gosh. I remember Evelyn with 6 Sunfire Cape. It was like a bug back then. That was so funny. Like, you just stay invisible the entire time.
And then you're
And
burning them.
you're just burning them. You're like, oh, where am I getting killed? Okay, I guess I'm dead now. You remember when mana pots were a thing?
Oh my gosh.
I remember.
I used to buy that all the time. I used to buy 5 of those all the
Ooh.
time. 5 of those and then 5 health pots. Crazy. I don't know what I
man.
was thinking, honestly.
Elixirs were, I think, 250 back then. So you could cheese, go for elixir, and then all in level 1. And then if you win, you get a Dorans for free. If you don't, then you cook. You know, some old league for you guys. Sorry, it's been
What's
a
that
while.
what's that old keystone that gave you free items again?
Kleptomancy.
Kleptomancy. That was a
Yeah.
goofy.
Yo!
That was the goofiest item. That was the
Goofy
goofiest
item,
mastery.
dude. You know who used that the most? Shoutouts to
Ezreal.
Gangplank, Ezreal. Who else? TF, technically, you
Oh,
can play Klepto on him. He's really funny. But here comes Devoured. Devastating charge. Not too fast. The horsey's a little bit slow. He needs some new shoes.
Yeah, look at how quick he cleared up the entire camp, though. He's already done with his whole camp. Meanwhile, Dodo is still in
the
the
next
red
one.
buff here. He's already done a gank and a full clear. That's the power of a Hecarim, guys. One of the
Yeah.
fastest to clear an entire map here. And a gank too, and they're converging onto Dodo here. I don't think he's got a clue that everyone's coming into him. Does have some safety over the wall. can dash over it. There you go. So he's gonna be backing up for now. But some level 1 aggressionness for Devour just to get him the scuttle and his whole team backing up. I think West Point is mad now, dog. I think they're come to play.
They come here to play, but here comes the engage. Steady charge. Sees the Sejuani there for a split second, decides not to go for it instead, but there is another counter engage. First blood
no.
for the side of Batang 90s. They picked off the Rakan who's trying to get away. They used all summoner spells. The Shattering Strike secures the first blood.
Yeah, a little bit too deep there for Azeved. Uses both summoners, but still not surviving. So that's a big win for Batang 90s here. But it's a swing. It's a swing of gold towards their favor. But you gotta remember, West Point still got that early jump in terms of jungling, right? Flash forward from Zeros, and Shmurda survived!
Bobby
the flash.
Shmurda!
What was that? Gets the stun, flashes behind the rumble, and he outplays Zeros there with a very, very insane flash. And here comes
Is he
Makahan
gonna die?
coming in for the flash. Oh,
Oh!
no, West Point.
Oh,
Okay, gets
nice
the kill
turret.
in the end, but
That was not worth it.
yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't at all. Mikehan. He's securing that one kill, but my goodness, man, it took her entire life to get on through, and doesn't even have the ultimate too. So that's a yikers. And Mid King is able to farm One Piece, and that's the best part too. Like Mid King's like yippee. To worry,
Exactly.
I don't need to worry about the mid lane too. I think later on, I feel like Mid King needs to roam around the
Yeah.
entire jungle, because compared to the Ahri that can roam infinitely, Mid King not so much.
Exactly. Has to be picture perfect with the wave management here. So far, unable to catch up to Mikey Hand's farm. 11 CS gap between the Ahri and the Yone keeps West Point with a very hefty mid advantage. Calls upon Hiawan for a little bit of an assist in terms of clearing up the Wade. First couple of objectives up, that's the Void Grubbies being secured by Dodoy. Meanwhile, Ocean Drake for Devoured to gear up for that late game. And a fair trade of objectives this time, as Zero's able to discover Dodoy here. Could actually look for a fight here. He's already level 6, so is Shmurda. Is going to be backing off for now. Does not want to risk it, so there you go. Void Grubs for Dodoy secured. Meanwhile, the Ocean Drake for Devoured. So a 1-for-1 at the end of the day.
Good Void Grubs collection there on the Dragon. I feel like a lot of the games have been secured already just because of Void Grubs' advantage too, because the pushing power on that tower is nothing to be scoffed at. Zeros is very low. He wants to collect the kill over to the Doy, but Shmurda once again to the rescue. Mikey Han, a little bit too late there too, as Mid King solo farming. He's having a good life.
Yeah, I wonder what's happening here for West Point. I mean, Zeros knew that the Doy was around the area. The Rift Herald, or rather the Void Grubs, were just secured. I don't think he was expecting an engage from Shmurda, but he should have, because that's a cannon. That's a flash available as well. And while he did flash to safety, I think it was a little bit too late for Zeros there. A little bit too antsy on the 1v1. Netted him off his life. So, yeah, West Point, you gotta wonder where that mental is at this point, because it feels like their players are not up for the task here. Outside of Shadows coming through here. Devour denying him one of the survival here.
Ooh.
Doesn't get to dodge the true shot barrage, but Highwan still survives. What the heck was that? Batang 90's bot lane survives that double engage, and Devoured still yet to find anything.
I mean, yeah, even that the moat was just there, like, hey, all right, that was a good flash there, a body block. All right, go next, man. Because actually, missed to use that flash to try and secure the kill, but it's a good thing the body block was there to help out in the end. So, Batang 90s, they'll take a little bit of take that W there. It's the small things that actually matter here. And looking at the jungle situation right now, they are closing in on that red buff. Uh-oh! Slicing Maelstrom, no words for you, buddy. Devoured gets solo killed in his own jungle. That is an unfortunate upbringing here for our horsey.
Yeah, and exactly what we're talking about too, right? That a big win condition here of West Point is up to Devoured, getting that power farm going. It seems like, well, he did for the most part of the early game, but not no more. Because Shmurda is helping Dodoy hunt out that horse, who is still 27 CS up, but he's starting to fall behind in terms of gold because of the kill participation here of Dodoy. 80% KP for that Sejuani. And Mikey Hunt just goes down. Speaking of the Glacial Prison, not letting him escape. Devoured going in, doesn't have ult, so he can't necessarily look for a counter engage. That's another kill unanswered from Batang 90s.
To kill Mikey Han. Ay, ay, ay. What is happening?
Yeah.
to Batang, to WPA. Ay, 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 ay. I think day number 1 is very hectic for WPA, no? Because I think Ben, we were talking about, we talked about it in the GC, right? I think the previous member for WPA used to be Azaved. I don't know if he's out.
No, I think
for...
that is Azaved. I think
Is that Azaved?
Yeah, I think so.
That's crazy.
I could be
Changed
wrong,
it.
but I think so.
We
Yeah,
might be wrong, but if that is Azaved, and they're playing with the core like this, to stay 2, it's a very difficult watch if they don't take this first game, man. But for Batang 90s, this is their best shot to go 1-1 into our first group.
Yeah, and this is one of the biggest criticisms that West Point has faced in the past, right? They are a team that is very gifted mechanically, but when their mental falters, they seem to struggle so much getting it right back on track. And a big factor of that is Devoured too. I mean, he's one of the biggest factors to consider when it comes to the playstyle, but also when it comes to that mental game. Once he doesn't get the ball rolling, that's when he starts to fall off, and that seems to be the case now. The key factor here for West Point is to keep their head in the game, right? They have to remember that this is just their second game in the entirety of the group stage.
Yeah.
They can definitely still come back even if they lost that first game. Speaking of, here comes
Oh,
Azabeth
quickness!
for the double knock-up quickness as well, but the counter engage is the slicing maelstrom. That is gonna be Devoured coming back for the rescue.
Magnet
But a
Storm!
beautiful
Fate
Magnet
Seal!
Storm from Iwan into the setup for Mid King. Fate Sealed is wonderful, and Mikey Han is a little bit late to the party. A 2-for-1 as West Point runs away, licking their wounds. Dodoy flashing over the wall, gets the slow onto Mikey Han, and there's nowhere to run for this Ari. Mid King, Soul Unbound, and a kill for the Yone as he goes on a spree, a 3-0-1 scoreline. And that is going to be the pause immediately. Batang 90s get the counter punch going, and they win that team fight.
That was absolutely wild. The thing I was talking about was the easiest engage in the world, right? Like,
Yeah.
you play around the Slicing Maelstrom, you play around the Magnetic Storm, and suddenly Mid King has the best Fate Sealed ever in Liga Republika, and you're like, wow, how did they do that? That's so hard to do.
Yeah.
How is that possible? And then you fail to realize that Magnetic Storm sucks everything into the center of Rel. And that just gives Mid King the opportunity to just press R and win the game. So there you go. Big combo into the pause too. But we will be back in just a bit. Batang 90s, a lot to show for now.
Yeah.
For our second game, man. 6
Yeah.
void grubs too. Potentially another one after this. Woo-wee.
Yeah. I'm just getting word, Doc, that Batang, rather, it's not Azven playing, it's actually their coach from West Point here. Number 6 Ben
Oh,
is
Ben?
the coach playing.
That's our
at West Point.
coach?
Yeah. Apparently Azven unable to play today, so
So
coach
tomorrow.
is filling in for their shoes. I'm not sure. Let's see. We'll have to wait and see for an update tomorrow, but it is their coach playing for Azven in that support role. And yeah, West Point struggling to get a grip of this game. Batang 90 seem to have found their groove.
Good info there. Yeah, they're into the groove. Grabe naman tong WPA, man. Batang 90s, they're looking really good, man. Like 12-minute mark, 9-2. That's a good gold lead heading into the mid game too, as even though they didn't get any dragons to secure, they will do so later on. Because top lane isn't really a priority for them, even though Rift Herald will spawn in just a bit. not really their best objective for the side of Batang 90s. They need to hover towards a dragon, but meanwhile, okay. Tinakot lang na onte.
Yeah. Almost got the jump onto number 6 Bendon, but missed. Yeah, he's an Ezreal, so he can't really deal as much damage as he can, so he can't capitalize on the turret range being there. So West Point's gonna have to look for an opening elsewhere. But where is that opening going to be? Eclipse picked up for Devoured, sure. But does he have enough to find that elusive first kill that he's been looking for? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's still pretty much ahead in terms of XP and gold against Dodoy, as is reflected by his levels. But as a Hecarim, you're gonna want to look for kills, right? You're gonna want to look for kill participation, and there just isn't any going around for West Point in general for now. And Devoured just consistently getting blocked here by the counter strats of Batang 90s. This time, gonna be able to pick up or start up the Rift Herald at least. Is around the area. Here comes the onslaught of shadows onto Mid King, forces out the fate seal from that Yone boss.
Magnetic
Here comes the
Storm!
counter engage, the Magnetic Storm on the 3-man, and that is just West Point crumbling. Equalizer comes down as well as Mid King goes on a rampage. That's a double kill for Mid King, a 2-for-0 as they secure the Rift Herald instead. West Point again get nothing.
They were the ones starting out the Rift Herald too, so must have sucked that Rift Herald wasn't theirs and their entire team got. So Batang 90s, wow, great start. And the gold lead is going further and further beyond their reach here for WPA. My goodness, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a draft dip, maybe. So like that's like 3 ultimates, you could use, and then that's it, It's like the entire fight.
I think it's more of an execution difference at this point. The early game plagued by failed ganks. I mean, Devoured went for the first gank, remember? Unable to get the kill, but forces out some summoners, I believe from Shmurda. But then afterwards, I mean, they had so much prior from Mycan as well, right? Devoured and Mycan should have gotten the jump going, but somehow their bot lane gank earlier failed. And that's it. It went on from there. Batang 90s won every succeeding fight afterwards. That West Point, realistically, unable to contest majority of the objectives from then on out. I mean, sure, they got the first couple of Drakes, but now, even the Rift Herald that they got the jump on, they couldn't secure for themselves. And it's at this point I'm thinking that maybe it's a combination of them not getting a gripe of this composition, or maybe it's first day jitters, or maybe a combination of the mental as well from that first game loss. But here we go again, another attempt coming through on the top lane. Onslaught of Shadows on the Mid King, flash to safety, knockup comes through. But there you go, finally a kill coming through, a shutdown for Mycan.
They stopped the bleeding for now, but the top side, already getting dove through for the tier 1 turrets here in the bot side. Dragon's up in less than a minute too, so Devoured, he has to hurry up here. He's gonna farm Raptors, probably go back after this as everyone will be resetting. Potentially warding up the entire area here for Dragon. It seems like, yeah, WPA also has their top laner subbed out as well. As I think the top lane was used to be Mikey-chan, but Zeros will be the one stepping in for the side of WPA. So it might be like a lot of things going through for WPA at the moment, but this should not warrant them this type of performance early on here for day number 1. But another engage this time. Devastating charge just to destroy the Rift Herald, but in turn, that's gonna be a DR angle for the side of Batang 90s. And they might be able to flip it around here because they're gonna force this fight.
Yeah. Let's see, a lot of ults available. Fate Sealed is still down here. Mid King starting up the Drake. West Point split up by Mist. And Zeros should be coming into the fight now, as that's Soul Unbound used up. Glacial Prison used early on. That's a stun.
Nice stun, Magnetic Storm.
The Magnet Storm just used everything onto Devoured. And here comes Slicing Maelstrom into the back line. Mycan desperately starts to alive as number 6 Ben finally does go down. A 1-for-1 so far as Devoured down to 1. Mycan down to 1 as well. That's a Drake secured by Batang 90s. But at least West Point, they find the trade of kill.
Trade of kills, but For what cost? Fate sealed onto Mid King, and he really is the king of mid on this match, making sure that his name is truly up to stuff. Batang 90s, they get 2 kills and a tier 1 turret as well.
Yeah, that's missed using the summoner too, using the flash to try and escape from that fate sealed. Unfortunately, just at the end of the range there, so still goes down to the Yone. Mid King, despite having a rough laning phase, is now taken over this rift. 7-1-1 on the board. And Billy the Ruin King picked up. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be able to pick up the second item. There you go. 2 items completed for the Yone. That's a power spike and a half. And it's only gonna get worse, I'm afraid, for West Point Academy at this point. And I gotta give commendations here to Dodoy, playing the map perfectly here. Almost a 100% KP score here. 0 deaths. And the Sejuani is just doing work for Batang 90s.
Batang 90s, man. Deathless on 2 champions. The Sejuani and the Ashe as well. And there's good protection for the Ashe too. Playing that static Shiv comp that I think we've seen on the Korean scene as of yet, but there is a lot of playstyles that you can play on the Ashe. So static Shiv, first item, not bad for them. 2-shot barrage going through, seems to be a TP arrow going through. Where's the slicing maelstrom? Glacial Crystal will be used instead of Zeros. Is out of the picture.
Yeah, he's just down. He's just gone. There's nothing he can do there. Equalizer available, but CC chain was just so long. He couldn't move ever since he got hit by the arrow. And it's just the state of it. I mean, I love the pick potential there of Batang 90s, and I love the way they traverse the map to find these picks. Taking advantage of that slicing maelstrom and of Mid King's advantage has been the headache here for West Point. Haiwan might have been spotted out. Mikey Han around the area. Mirmo is down to half HP as well. They could potentially look for a dive onto that Ashe, but not with Mid King around. So West Point again denied of anything. And Dodo is just way too tanky to converge on at this point. Gets knocked up. But here comes the counter engage. Morda, I'm looking at him. The Magnet Storm available. But Morda is the slicing maelstrom gonna be up for use. Number Ben.
The TP.
Is just gone now. And a TP into the back line. Zero's got nothing to do. What are you doing there? Gonna be using the equalizer for Knots. And that's 2 players down for West Point. They're just crumbling here, Doc.
It's not looking good. I don't. This game is hard to watch now for WPA. It seems like Battle 90s has everything to lose now after this match, and
Yeah.
despite the Powered still trying his best on the Horsey, it ain't looking good, man. Haywood is already around the area.
Devoured. Getting jumped on. That is the crash down onto the stun.
Oh, he's not doing anything. There's no
Mist gonna
damage.
be here. Onslaught of Shadows gonna be used up. Devoured healing up. Rolled up. There's a chance to turn this around here, Doc. As Devoured looks for the chase down. Here comes Mike again. And the quickness is just not quick enough. Number 6 Ben uses that ult. Doesn't catch up. But Devoured does survive.
Survive another day, and better situation for Battle 90s to just try and reset. Now they know they don't have the quickness available. Mid King trying again. Not quite this time on that kill, as now they're just playing for objective. Despite the kill advantage that they have here for Batang 90s, the scoreline is still not so bad for the side of WPA. And engage though for the Power slicing maelstrom to go on through. There is no equalizer to use for Zero. He's gonna try to auto attack it. That should be a secured kill. Grand entrance in front. Dodoy is all alone, but there is Haywan Chattering Strike in front of them, but he will be killed. Mirmo is gonna try to play along here on this front to back, and seems like nothing will be out here as they're looking potentially for this Baron, but not quite. They don't really have that much damage. They'll just wait to scale off later in the game.
Yeah, some big shutdowns coming through for Zeros, though. That's both kills going into the pocket of that Rumble. Big breathing room here for West Point Academy. And at the end of the day, even if you say that they're 5,000 behind, you gotta remember this is still a team fighting composition, right? One good engage from number 6 Ben into a good equalizer from Zeros, and they could still turn this around. Right, especially with those couple of shutdowns going through in the pocket of Zeros. That's big damage into the pockets of the entire team. But number 6 Ben hoping to catch Mid King for now. I'm not sure if they have enough damage for this, especially considering that 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 Rakan is 7 levels behind.
Wait.
Or 6 levels behind from that Yone, but they're gonna jump into him anyway. Fate's Shield not cancelled. Onslaught of Shadows. He's gonna be knocked up by Mid King, but he's gonna get
Slicing
shut down by
Maelstrom.
Devoured. Slicing Maelstrom to the back line. Mist forced to blink on out, and he will not survive because Mirmo flashes forward for the Vault's kill. Mirmo, though, getting jumped by Maiken. So that's a good kill onto that Ari. A 2-for-2 trade so far. Shmurda gets jumped.
Oh!
Maiken with a snipe
He's
down
dead.
charm. Can he get the kill? Yes, he can. The double for the Ari. Spirit Rush to safety. And he should get out of dodge now. That is the support getting knocked up by the Grand Entrance. Number 6, Beasts. Is not going to be able to survive for now. Hold up. They might just with the charms from Maiken. Nope. The number 6 bed going to be running off into the hills now. Going to be using the infernal thingamajigs, but he will not survive at all. That's the ace for Batang 90s. A cleanup again for Haiwan.
Yeah, they're trying to get the second dragon as well, and it feels like they're gonna get it eventually, right? It was it's a very sweaty fight. There's a noodle fight all around here, the bottom side, and not even the tier 1 bottom turret could go down even after all of that. So securing a dragon again for the side of Batang 90s. They can't seem to look for a Baron angle though for the side of Batang 90s, because despite everything, WPA, they're not out of it yet. Despite earlier the Rumble going 0-6, he has items now. You have to be a little bit more worried now that the Leandris is now up for zeros.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta remember, still a very fragile game here for Batang 90s. Sure, they're ahead, but a single big mistake could cost him up this game. So let's not count our eggs until they're hatched yet here, Doc. Still a two-way fight here. Couple of Drakes in the pockets of Batang 90s though should give them a big advantage for that scaling factor, especially because they're both Infernals. And if they keep this Drake stack going, that's when things should get scary and scarier here for West Point. But the Equalizer used up here by Zeros to clear up the wave, saves his own tower in that top lane. Enjoy, ult available, doesn't get the knockup, and does not engage with the ult. Meanwhile, Devoured kills Murda somehow. And now West Point are slowly making some leeway here, dog. I mean, Baron is still up. Batang 90s, as you said, they can't really take this. So what can they do at this point?
It's the setup. Very slow, I think. The Ari is very far away, but she does have the TP to react here, just in case they want to force a Baron angle for the side of Batang 90s. But the more time you stall out for WPA to get their items, the more some of these characters get stronger and stronger by the minute. Mist already has Morana plus that Triforce, but now they're forcing the angle here. Here comes the Fate Sealed once again. And Zero, he's forcing to back away from this very dangerous situation as Morda dashes on in. Electric Ball in hand. That's a very small rodent there. As Batang 90s, that's 2 members down for the side of WPA, and they should be able to take this Baron without any contest after all. But Maikihan making sure that they're gonna make it a little bit more costly for them in the long run as the orbs go through. But there's so many people for the side of WPA. Are they looking to steal this? They got the ultimate up. They're trying so hard. Quickness! Oh my god, Slicing Maelstrom. They are all gone. That is the Baron secured for Batang 90s. Nothing that they can do in this situation. They're all low. But Mist, he can't do anything but just back away because the Doi is so tanky. Oh my goodness, in the middle of everything too. He gets baited out. Goodbye. And so long for Mist. They get another kill for the side of Batang 90s.
Yeah, West Point, they were hoping to contest that Baron because Batang 90s, they don't necessarily have a Baron taking composition here. So they were buying so much time, waiting for a true shot barrage, and perhaps looking for a counter engagement in the form of a Spirit Rush or a Grand Entrance, but they never really got the chance because Haiwan was just pinching them out of the pit. That by the time the Baron was down, there was not enough time for Mist to recall and just got caught. No way to run, nowhere to run for that Ezreal. And because of that fumble, West Point's deeper into a big gold deficit, around a 9,000 gold deficit now. And their chances are getting slimmer by the minute here, Doc. 28 minutes we approach, and the Drake spotting in a minute and a half here. West Point's grasping at straws. At this point, they have to try and find something. And one big setup from number 6 Ben could do it. But for now, they're going to try and catch down mid. King fate sealed into that Soul
he's so
Unbound.
strong.
Chips Devour down to 500 HP. But
Oh,
Mid
the
King,
equalizer
there's
miss.
no way you're going to survive this. Unless you can get a kill first. Nope, Devour get the kill onto him.
You have to
At
reset
least-
though.
Yeah, that's the Yone done. But their base is getting pummeled.
It's one pommel down, but that's only one cannon minion, so they'll focus instead of the top lane as Batang 90s. This is the best spot they've had in the 2 games that we had here recently. Looking to get this tier 2 up. Devoured, no Onslaught of Shadows available, as they only have the orb to at least stave off the offense. Mikey Han, it's charm, but that's about it. They'll get the reset here over to mid, as Mist continuously pressuring the mid to get challenge here, because it's gonna fall away in just a second here. The tier 1 mid turret is gonna go down in just a bit. That's the
There you
bounty too, and WPA. It's like 44 to 56. I mean, it's a big lead for them, but like at this moment in time, this is one of the longer games we had here
Yeah.
for today, and again, for good effect too, like Batang 90s, they just want to secure all of the objectives. They have no need to rush. But for WPA, this is the time for them to catch up on gold experience as well as items, because they can still make the comeback here, because that is sold point for the side of Batang 90s, but they can still catch up.
At this point, Doc, I'm not really even sure how they're gonna do that because they don't really necessarily have as much scaling options as Batang 90s do. I mean, sure, they got a Rumble, but after the fact, what else? I mean, Ezreal, not really the best scaler. Actually scales worse than an Ashe. And then you gotta consider in the Yone too. So what else can West Point Esports do with the time buying that they're doing right now? I'm not particularly sure. But the biggest factor here is that engage. Number 6 Ben has to find that magic engage that he's been looking for all game long. One good quickness could turn things around for them. But the thing is, it's really, really tough when you're faced with a cannon, when you're faced with a Rel, both really good at engaging and disengaging. Not to mention a Sejuani to your face as well. How do you do such an engage as a Rakan? I mean, there was an attempt right there, but you could see just one champion is all it took to disengage from that. What about the other 2 here from Batang 90s? That's why it's so hard for this Rakan to find anything. Meanwhile, their base getting marched on now. Dodoy leading the charge. Haiwan jumps over the wall. This could be risky. Grand Entrance gonna be canceling that knockback from Haiwan with the crash down. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, but he's just gonna flash over the wall.
They're trying to siege, but they don't have any. They don't have Baron empowered minions anymore to stop sieging now. So Batang 90s, they're just waiting to pummel the mid tier 3 turret, and finally an engage comes through. Slicing Maelstrom devours Ben there on the engage, as he cannot re-up and re-arm back again to his teammates. An inhibitor finally falls down, and it might follow suit here on top and bot lane, as the tier 3 slowly pushing down here as the minions roll in to their base.
Yeah. West Point left to fend for their base. It's really, really rough out here. I mean, Devoured falling off in the early game was everything here for West Point. They essentially lost another engaged tool here with Devoured falling behind. Now it's late game, so Hecarim not going to be of as much impact anymore. And with Ben struggling so much to find these openers, makes you wonder what else is there to exhaust for West Point. I mean, yeah, over and over, it's Batang 90s getting that initiation completed. And they're scaling better at this point. So West Point, they gotta bank on an X factor here. Maybe a Baron Steel, maybe an Elder. And we're getting to that point too. 3 Drake stack for Batang 90s. We're getting closer and closer to that Elder point. So Batang 90s, they're the ones faced with a deadline now, but they're not really pressured. They don't necessarily have to hurry up, because the longer the game goes on, arguably they're put in better positions. But I can't say the same for West Point. Devoured again. A bit of a pinch. Number 6 Ben with a good flanking position. He has been spotted out, so a very careful approach from Batang 90s. I like this. Look at what Batang 90s is doing. they are not necessarily committing to the fight while keeping an eye on where the Rakan is. This is what makes them such a formidable foe in this game. They have a close look on where the Rakan could and could not engage, and that's why it's so hard for number 6 men to find something.
The numbers advantage, man, is so weird. No, because they keep trying to target the Doi, but the passive on one of his items, the recurrent, actually helping out, just dissipate all of the damage coming through for Maikehan. But is this a flip? Are they looking to flip this?
Maybe.
The Devoured is around the area. Here comes the quickness plus the grand entrance, the charm on the correct person, and suddenly Mirmo is gone and out of the picture. Where is the slicing maelstrom? We still haven't seen it yet, but there is the fate seal. Mist is gone out of the picture, but suddenly the tides have turned around. Devoured, all up in arms, has the items of the double kill on to them.
Wait.
But Devoured is here. The horsey is up again, and suddenly a spot, a chance for WPA to come back in the game here. Only the Doi and Hagwon left, but they don't have enough damage. Devoured, he's confident he can win this. He's confident that he could have lost them, but they'll just play it safe. They'll try to hover around this dragon to secure the third dragon for the game.
Yeah, 3 for 2. Devoured finally come out on top. Fate Sealed used by Mid King to shut down Mist, but what about Devoured? It was left in the front line, just terrorizing Shmurda and Mirmo. And he was just able to clean up, mop up the rest of the crew here from Batang 90s. West Point finding a bit of leeway, but another fight to break through here. All of the stacks of the Conqueror up for Devoured. He gets knocked up by the crash down, but Dodoi is just way too tanky to deal with here. Gonna be taking down this Infernal Drake, but is it in time? The Doi is here. Mirmo is making his way towards the pit. It's a 4v2 suddenly. And now Devoured is in a bit of trouble. Number 6 men has to get out of dodge at this point. Grand entrance doesn't connect. Nice little equalizer.
Slicing
but
Maelstrom!
the magnet's turn into the Slicing Maelstrom is way better here for Batang 90s. They dismiss of Devoured. They dismiss of Zeros. And they take the Infernal Drake. That is the soul for them, and that's a team fight secured 2 or 3 for nothing, and they're gonna turn towards the Baron.
And the thing is, they have 4 Infernal Drakes too, so I think that's about, like, what do you get for every passive? It's like 8 AP,
Around
8
that,
AD.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
come on, that's like 32 in total. That's a lot. Imagining any champions on their board that could scale up there, absolutely insane. And now they have the AoE on basic attack. WPA, they lost their chance, and now all that's left for Batang 90s is to walk up on their base and finish the story.
Yeah. It's taken them some time, but it's as sure as sunrise almost here for them. As long as they don't make too big of a mistake here, they should be good to go. And with the mid-empowered minions crashing down on the base, the key here is certainly clear here as Daylight for B90s. Go for the split push down in the top and middle side of the map, prioritizing that middle area. And now they're gonna look for Devoured. Splitting up the team fight here is the key as well for Batang 90s, denying that opener to come through. Stun connects onto Devour. He's a little bit too far forward. 2-shot barrage is a little bit early for Mist. But the Grand Entrance gets a double knock-up to try and set up Devour, but still the 2 tankiest player from Batang 90s. Meanwhile, their inhibitor tower gets
Slicing Maelstrom
destroyed as
again!
Shinruda actually goes back into the fight with a Slicing Maelstrom, gets the triple stun in, starts up the fight, and now it's over even before West Point can strike back. Batang 90s, they're marching down the Nexus. Another double knock-up from Hellone, just as icing on top of this cake here as Shmurda gets a rampage. A shutdown from Devoured, but that's it. The Nexus is getting destroyed, and Batang 90s take down West Point Academy. What a game!
And this group of death has certainly come for the worst here for some teams. Batang 90s starting off strong, finally getting a W here after their first mishap here on the board. 1-1 against WPA, who fortunately gonna go 0-2 early on here. I think they have like 2 more matches before the end of the day, but my god, that is a statement for Batang 90s. And again, completely justified for Batang 90s to just wait until they get the soul point at the end of the game, because di naman sila nagmamadali, di ba?
Yeah, and they got the better scaling comp anyway, no? So it was a very smart play at the end of the day here for them. Beautifully done by Batang 90s here. And it all started with arguably that laning phase from Shmurda. He was able to just completely shut down that Rumble. There was no way that Zeros could come back into this game being that far behind. I think he went 0-4 or something because of just how well Shmurda performed in that Kennen. And they just marched on over and over with Mid King doing wonders after getting, I think, a multi-kill at some point, and then after that he never went back, never looked back. And then a couple of mistakes as well from West Point, uncharacteristically so, with Zeros TPing in into the backline like that, and then over-aggressing into the bot lane like this. And overall, I think Batang 90s just played a much cleaner game, much less mistakes compared to West Point. And of course, you gotta mention the draft here. It was absolutely played to perfection by the Dodoy and the gang.
Yeah. I mean, the first game was very hard fought for Batang 90s, but at least they got the victory now. So better hopes for them to survive later on for day number 2, but still have one more game to go after this. So even after all of the fights going on through, it was just, again, like a very slow approach. There were so many replays that we had to take note here because, again, this game had so many fights and it all went down to Shmurda pressing that slicing maelstrom. It was like always the game changer during that fight here, Dito.
Yeah. And there was an abundance of tools here for Batang 90s, right? I mean, they didn't. That was the case, Doc, that Shmurda was the turnaround tool because they didn't have to use the slicing maelstrom to engage the fights. They had so many tools to do that. They had Magnet Storm, they had Yone Ult, they had Sejuani there, they had even an Enchanted Crystal Arrow to start off the fights, right? So they had an abundance of CC, which is why each and every fight could be turned around by a big ult that they didn't have to use to start off the team fight. And I think ultimately was the game changer here for Batang 90s. Another hard-fought game for them, but this time, as you mentioned, they able secured the win against West Point Academy. A 37-minute game with 14,000 gold lead. I mean, it wasn't a cakewalk, but hey, a win is a win for Batang 90s, and I'm excited to watch them on their further games, Doc.
And then later on, though, I think we have 2 more games left here for Liga Republika day number 1. But don't you guys go anywhere. We got more action for you here when we come back after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Recall. We just wrapped up Group A last weekend, and we now have our first teams advancing to the playoffs. The rift is getting louder as this group made waves with their incredible plays. But the action doesn't stop there. Let's dive right into this week's Recall. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Poch Estrada, your guide through the action here on Recall. This is your weekly recap for everything Liga Republika. Now, let's jump right into the Group A highlights and see what went down. First off, a big congratulations to MCOM Esports Club and Fervent Esports Club. They've secured the top seeds in Group A and are now advancing to the playoffs. Welcome to the big leagues, boys. Now, it's time to break down the highlights that happened in Group A. MCOM Esports had a rocky start entering the group stage, losing their first match to Fervent Esports in the first game of Day 1. However, the team was able to pick themselves up, and MCOM's strong bot lane duo, Limit and Just Focus, were able to push the team ahead to win the rest of their matches on both days of Group A, earning a solid 5-1 record to progress in the Liga Republika Playoffs. Fervent Esports, on the other hand, had a more tumultuous journey in the group stage. After winning their first match against MCOM, Fervent lost to Zenith Esports and even to MCOM after pairing with them again on Day 2. It was the combined effort of mid laner Ame and ADC Mish during the Baron clash that sealed their win against Ninja Alpha to head to the Liga Republika playoffs. Group A was a blast. The teams really let loose and showed off their skills and plays, just the way we like it. And speaking of letting loose, get ready for our second group stage matches. catch OBE Bathala, Bloodseekers, SCM Esports, and Fantasy Esports duke it out for their spots in the playoffs on August 17 and 18, starting at 4 p.m. We'll be live on your preferred streaming platforms. On Facebook, it'll be the official League of Legends page, and for YouTube and Twitch, just type out Day1PHL. That's DAYONEPHL. Things are gonna be intense with Group B. Whether it's a dominating run or a battle down to the wire, the action is definitely guaranteed. So don't miss it, and catch the excitement this weekend and cheer on your favorite teams. Your favorite team isn't the only MVP here. Liga Republika wouldn't be possible without our amazing co-presenter, Pouch.ph, the top performing savings and investment wallet app in the Philippines. And let's not forget our brand partner, Lightning Dragon. Don't miss out on the action. Jump on the official Liga Republika Discord for all the latest updates. Link in the description. And while you're at it, hit up the official League of Legends social pages and keep your feed up to date.
Welcome to the Summoner's Rift. We present to you Liga Republika 2024. 16 teams are set to compete across several stages of competition for a chance to take home their share of a massive 1 million peso prize pool. The tournament will feature two main stages: the Kickoff Invitational and the Open Qualifiers, with 4 teams coming from the Kickoff and 12 teams coming from the Open Qualifiers. Starting with the Kickoff Invitational last May, the top 8 teams from the previous year were invited to a double elimination gauntlet to secure their slot in the group stage of Liga Republika. The last 12 spots from the main tournament will be battled out in our Open Qualifiers in July, and here's what you need to know. The competition is open to teams from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, featuring up to 512 teams per week competing in 7 rounds of single elimination battles. The top 3 teams from each week will then be securing their spots to the group stage. The qualifiers will be held every week on July 13, July 20, July 27, and August 2nd. The teams advancing from the Kickoff Invitational and Open Qualifiers will then move on to the group stages that will be held every Friday and Saturday, starting from August 9 to August 31. Here, the competition will intensify as teams will be divided into 4 groups of 4 teams. Teams will then have to go head-to-head in best-of-1 double round-robin matches. The top 2 teams from each group will then proceed to the playoff stages. On September 13th, 8 teams will battle it out in a best-of-1 double elimination bracket until 4 teams remain. The 2 remaining teams in each bracket will face off in a best-of-3, with the loser being eliminated and the winner getting a shot at the grand prize. The grand finals will be a best-of-5 match between 2 of the top teams and will be held on September 22nd to determine the Liga Republika 2024 champion. Follow the official League of Legends PH Facebook page for more information.
Welcome back to Recall. We just wrapped up the Open Qualifiers last weekend. Week 4 saw some fierce competition as teams scrambled for those last 3 slots to the group stage.
Welcome back to Liga Republika's Recall. Week 4 of Liga Republika's tournament has been packed with intense showdowns and GGs. Hey there, Summoners, I'm Poch Estrada. Recall is your go-to show for everything League of Legends in the Philippines. Now, let's dive into the Week 4 drama because we had to say goodbye to some of our favorite teams, but welcome a lot of our teams to the group stage.
First of all, congratulations to the last batch of teams that qualified. They'll be facing off in a double round-robin group stage, with the top 2 contenders of each group proceeding to the playoffs.
Week 4 brought us fierce rivalries as teams battle it out in the Rift to secure a slot in the group stages.
The stakes are higher than ever, and here's your recall for this week.
Week 4 champions Bloodseekers were out for blood during the last week of the Open qualifiers, with fierce matches against Wonder Pets and Planet Esports. The team finally bagged their place in the upcoming group stages after their previous failed attempts. Meanwhile, Week 4 runner-up Planet Esports breezed through the early stages of Day 2. Their aggressive plays during the quarter and semifinal matches had their team win, with their opponents barely making any double-digit kills. However, it was during the finals that the unstoppable force that is Planet Esports had to face the immovable object, Team Bloodseekers, that ended their reign of dominance that left them at second place. Of course, let's not forget our last qualifying team, Troll Patrol. The team was able to cling on and bet their third spot as they crumbled against Planet Esports to place them in battle for third place, where they prevailed against Team Wonder Pets to nab third place. Tune in as Ninja Alpha, MCOM Esports, Fervent Esports, and Zenith Esports battle it out for their spot in the playoffs this Saturday and Sunday, August 10 and August 11 respectively, starting at 4 p.m. We'll be live on your preferred streaming platforms. On Facebook, it's on the official League of Legends page, and for YouTube and Twitch, just type out Day 1 PHL. Things are looking pretty spicy at Group A. Will we see a dominating run by one team, or will it be a nail-biter for all? Who knows? Catch the action this Saturday and support your favorite teams. Speaking of support, Liga Republika wouldn't be possible without our co-presenter, Pouch.ph, the top-performing savings and investment wallet app in the Philippines. Special thanks to our brand partner, Lightning Dragon. Also, don't forget to join our official Liga Republika Discord for future updates. Link in the description. And make sure to follow the official League of Legends social pages to stay up to date.
Hey! Hey, look up at the sky, it's just a starting line. Waltzing through the storm, feel the vibe align. Radiant rebels in the silent fray. In the pulse of dawn, we embrace the day. We find harmony in mayhem, finding our own beat. Eyes ablaze with laser focus. Dancing through the storm, we become the light. Against all odds, we'll stand and play in this never-ending fray. Eyes alive in the pulse of dawn, we find our beat when the chances take form through the noise. Hey, look down at the tide, it's our warning sign. It's time to rock the wave or get swept aside. Crash through barriers, our destinies untied. We find harmony in mayhem, finding our own beat. Eyes ablaze with laser focus. We become the light. We become the light. Against all odds, we'll stand and play in this never-ending fray. Eyes alive in the pulse of dawn, we find our beat when the chances take form through the noise. Hey, look up at the sky, it's just a starting line. Hey, look up at the sky, it's just a starting line. Radiant rebels in the silent fray. In the pulse of dawn, we embrace the day. We find harmony in mayhem, finding our own beat. Eyes ablaze with laser focus. Dancing through the storm.
Welcome back, everyone. You're still watching Liga Republika, and we are still your casters for the day. My name's Jado. I'm here with the one and only dropped-out Candy. We're deep into week number 3, day 1 of our group stage, and it's gonna come down to Ion versus West Point, our next match of the day.
Yeah, it's gonna boil down to our last set of matches to determine who gets first and second seed here for a first group for day number 1. Because honestly, I still don't know who's top 1 or top 2. But at the moment, all I know is that KO Esports is currently undefeated though, for day number 1.
Yeah, and they're looking on form, right? I think a lot of teams really had a chance on fighting them, Ion being one of them. It just was a big deficit in terms of compositions that Ion unable to overcome, that they just faltered to KO Esports in such a convincing manner as well from KO, right? Such a beautiful performance from them. They have still a chance to make amends in this game in particular, right? But it is one of their biggest opponents in their history that they're facing up against next year. It's West Point. Have yet to win a single game either, and hoping to fight for their group stage lives here, Doc. This still isn't all the time. Ion and West Point have been fighting for championships for years now, and Ion recently able to best West Point in a series, if I'm not mistaken. In a couple of months ago, Ion able to beat West Point, and with the forms that both of them have at this point, I think it's absolutely likely that Ion can win against West Point again today.
I think given the roster that WPA has deployed at the moment, it really feels likely that Ion definitely has the edge against them. But I would not be surprised again if WPA they just make something work out with this roster, and they go up against again the juggernauts here for Group C, which is Ion Global. But here we go, picks bands starting in just a bit, guys, and we might be the only 2 matches that we will have left here for day number 1, man. This is a very tumultuous day, but I'm glad I was able to cast these couple of matches here for day number 1. And again, for tomorrow's matches too, I feel like it's much more competitive tomorrow too, because that's do or die for all of our teams for our group stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially those teams that are unable to rack up the score today. They're gonna be giving it all they've got tomorrow, and it starts with here West Point in particular, looking to put as many eggs in this basket as they can, so to speak. They want to at least get a good baseline of a score tomorrow, and they're hoping to get their first win of the day here up against Ion Global. So the bans coming through, of course, still a lot of jungle bans on. Of course, Devour is still the main focal point here of bans, but they do ban away the K-Sante as well. Let's see if the Ion are gonna let that Hecarim pass by. I mean, the last game Hecarim was given to Devoured, but it didn't necessarily have the impact that West Point was looking for. So Ion, they're gonna do the same. Hecarim is unbanned.
Hey, I guess we're out. I think that I don't think the Ash the Hecarim got. Did the Hecarim get banned? They got banned, right?
Did it get banned?
No, it didn't get banned. It got passed through, but because I think the Ash getting banned at the last moment of that pick ban phase, that first pick is a little bit more advantageous, I guess, for the blue side, no? Because when you pick 1-2 now, Nocturne and Orianna are available to pick. So I wouldn't be surprised if they pick Ori Nocturne for the side of Ion Global, but for West Point, I mean, it's their first pick. They can pick whatever they want. That's the best part.
And the trend is Sejuani has always been a big consideration when it comes to those first picks. So West Point happy to ban that away. And Sejuani, as we've seen, has always been really consistent in terms of performance. Here we go again, bans out. Hecarim available. But what is West Point going to prioritize? Maybe a Nocturne pickup this time again, or Lilia for that matter. I mean, Devoured happy to pick up the mantle of many faces of these junglers. I'm quite surprised actually that Ion Global are responding in the form of a Hecarim, given that there's already a jungler for West Point. I think Enitsu is trying to say something with this Hecarim pickup, Doc, and it's I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I was more surprised the Hecarim was not on the other side too. I was shocked. I was like, oh wait, I thought West Point was on the red side. Why is it? Oh, okay, I get it now. So
Mm-hmm.
Hecarim, Leona. The draft turns really funny too, because now it's like anything's up to the table. To Zeri being appearing for the first time here for our group stage, finally enough, and paired up with the Brom is a very powerful counter too against the Leona if they want to do that. It goes through.
Yeah, there you go. We've got our bot lane for West Point Academy. This time they're prioritizing Mist and number 6 Ben. This time, number 6 Ben taking a little bit of a step back in terms of initiation. Will be going more protective in terms of Braum, and I do like this. I do like this pickup for number 6 Ben. It's more safe, and it gives more priority towards that ADC, which Mist has always been good at. So I love that for him. But Dawn this time is gonna be happy to pick up the Smolder for themselves. So there you go. And I do like the baseline of the comp here for Ion Global, right? They've got already a ton of engaged potential and that late game insurance in one package. They just have to round it up with a little bit of magic damage, maybe a little bit of frontline, not necessarily, but it certainly would help their case. But other than that, they're setting up a very good standard comp here for Ion. But I feel like for West Point, they could pivot into multiple directions, right? I feel like they could go a different route in terms of the mid laners. Micah has proven himself to be a consistent performer in the mid lane anyway. Orianna being one of those, although unlikely. I think they could still go for that if they wanted to. But for both mid laners for that matter. But it's surprising to me that West Point consider the Riven ban-worthy here for Spoof.
Yeah.
Because I think they could have just picked so many things to counter that Riven, but hey, they banned it away anyway.
The ban of the way, I guess for now, we won't be seeing a Riven or a Kisati at all here for this top lane matchup. So we might see ourselves another matchup into here. I don't know, Ornn might be a good pick. Very tanky for the side of West Point if they want to. So instead, they just blind the LeBlanc, which is a good case for them. Not really a blind because Dawn already picked the Orianna here for their side. So LeBlanc as a counter pick opposite to that. And Camille for our top lane.
Okay.
What pick counters that? Are they gonna counter it? Oh no, Kisante is banned though. So like, okay, so what do you pick against Camille? ADC top? Possibly? I'm hoping. I'm coping. But
Maybe something like a Fiora for that matter. We're gonna go for Volibear instead.
Okay.
Which is interesting, to say the least, but it does bode well for their composition, right? 3 big bodies between Dawn and Calumnia and the rest of the squad here of West Point Esports is something that I like here for their composition. It's all about a matter of protecting Dawn here because it's gonna be their sole source of big damage, right? I mean, you gotta set up from Crescio, from Calumnia, and Enitsu as well. Swoof gonna be there for that space creation, so to speak, and perhaps a little bit of sustainability on that side lanes. But Swoof, come on, bro, change it to a flash before you mistake it for a smite on the last second. But
is that legit?
Let's see if they're gonna change it back to a flash. I'm pretty sure Swoof is gonna change it to a flash in just a sec, but here we go. We got a Zeri for the first time here, Doc, and this time it's West Point that doesn't necessarily have as solid of a front line as Ion Global. But let me rack your brain about the compositions here. Which one do you like better?
I like how there's 3 fat bodies here for Iron Global, Leona, Hecarim, and Volibear, just to protect the Ori plus the Smolder in fact too. So I'm more surprised that Itsu didn't go for a Doctored Orianna composition that did happen and was picked up by WPA a while ago, but it didn't work out for them. So instead, they do another variation of it, which does involve the Hecarim and could be used to some extent to the other champions as well, the Volley as well as the Leona there if they do manage to get the engage properly. Very good enough for them, but compared to West Point Esports, I mean, they have Zeri, yes, on that bot side. They have the Camille to at least push behind here to get that Smolder, but there's a lot of bursty guys on the side of WPA, but do they have a tank? Not really. They don't have a tank, so they have to rely on getting picks to get an advantage here. And it's a good thing Braum is there, because his passive really helps here come when the team fight happens.
Yeah, I do like the composition or the play style that the West Point composition are suggesting here. Question is, can they execute with this play style? They kind of want to play from afar here, right? They kind of want to go for sort of kitey approach with the Lilia and their hyper carries here, just going for the poke with the LeBlanc and have the Zeri deal damage from afar. The Lilia just sort of running around, dealing damage out to everyone. We're just, I guess, kind of indicative of their playstyle that doesn't need a solid frontliner. But the opposite is true here for Iron Global. They're gonna lock you up. They're gonna jump straight into your face, and then they're gonna pummel you with a ton of CC here, which is the one thing that I love. It's a robust composition here for Iron Global. You definitely see what the plan is, and the plan is just brute force. And I love that here from them. But the question is West Point gonna be able to get enough damage to shut down and cut through these three solid chonkers in front for Iron Global? I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. It's all gonna boil down to who is gonna snowball earlier, because despite the lack of frontline here, Devoured can still bring up the damage when it comes to this Lilia pickup.
Yeah, the pick as well, and I think we're gonna have to look at the bracket update before we enter into our match here to see our current standings between all of our groups. And yeah, Kyo Esports currently leading 2-0. They will be the last match here, fighting against Batang 90s and potentially getting that, I think, 3-0 here for Kyo, or as well as tying up the opposition here 2-1 for Batang 90s might be a possibility. But West Point Esports Academy currently going 0-2. This is their last chance to go 1-2 here for our day number 1. But let us not forget, the people that make this event happen. Riot Games, as well as Day 1. And making grassroots happen here in the PH scene for League of Legends. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much as well to our co-presenter Pouch Lightning PH, the top performing savings and investment wallet app in the Philippines. And of course, massive thanks to the Games and Amusement Board for letting it all happen here, Doc.
Yeah, again, Pouch the PH, top performing savings and investment wallet app, as well as Lightning Dragon, which is the brand partner for this event. Thank you so much for Liga Republika for making it all happen. My goodness. Day number 1, it's gonna go to a close soon enough, but the games are still as intense as it is. Hopefully we get more action here, because I think Batang 90s, they want to get that 1-2, but for WPA, they want to get that 1-2, man. They at least need to get a win here at the last day. But so if you want to make them win, if you want to cheer them on still, give them a hashtag WPA win. If you want West Point Esports Academy to get that W. But if you want Iron Global to go 2-1, give us a hashtag Iron win there in the chat, as we're always looking for support for all of our teams here for Liga Republika. So much.
Yeah, I want to talk about what's at stake here for this game, right? If West Point, if they win this game, Doc, they're going to be tying up the scoreline between themselves and Ion Global. What that means is Batang 90s actually move up a spot. They're going to be the 3rd and 4th slots here. And Batang 90s, if they win their game against Kyo, they have a chance of moving up into the playoffs. If they lose it, however, I think we're gonna have a 3-way tie here, Doc.
For Day 1?
Yeah, for Kyo. If Kyo is the only one, with Kyo the only one having a safe spot here in the playoffs so far, or rather, as it stands here. So it's gonna be an interesting Day 2 tomorrow if that happens. But it's got to start with West Point. They have to win this game against Iron Global if they want to even begin a possibility of them creating that 3-way tie. But it's absolutely going to be interesting, especially considering we have more games tomorrow to make a difference. But let's see, West Point, do they have what it takes to take Ion Global this time? At this form that they currently have, I want to know. I sure hope so, Doc. I want more games.
I mean, you want more tiebreakers for Day 2? Let it happen, man. It already happened for Fantasy Esports as well. As OB, but hala, it may as well has happened here on Summoner's Rift, man. VPA, they need this win, man. Like, we just want to see them get a win against Ion, but It's Iron kasi. Like, paano mo challenge ito, pre? Lalakas nila lahat.
Yeah. Well, let's see. And I'm more excited to see yung ano dito, Hecarim ni Enitsu.
That's true.
It's a
like,
statement pickup. You know, it's saying, "Devoured, let me show you a thing or two
let me
about
show you how to
Hecarim."
play Hecarim here, buddy. Why did you pick the Lilia first, man? I wonder.
It'll be a heck of a statement if Enitsu does come up massive. Early skirmish though between the mid laners. Alam mo to, classic matchup to. Oriana LeBlanc 1v1 mid lane. It's a tale as old as time. Let's see what the runes are. Calumnia actually going for the more standard route, not the safe route on the Oriana. I actually like the face rush build more for the Oriana. I feel like you could do more with it. It's more utility instead of damage. But hey, I say Ion has enough utility anyway. They need that extra bump of damage, so why not? It's certainly helping out his case here in the 1v1.
Getting the level up here. I think they're very aggressive in the mid lane, perhaps, but I think for bot, not much damage here in the bot side. So everyone's playing a little bit safer than before. Calumnia, this might be first blood looking through. Flash in front, aggressive flash over to Maikahan. He's gonna die though.
Oh, wait.
Goodbye.
One more.
I can't believe that happened.
That is unfortunate for Mikey-chan. Winions getting the kill there, the trade. And Calumnia's gotta be thanking the stars for that one auto attack. Let's take a look at that one more time. Calumnia, the flash backwards to try and dodge the command attack, but
Did he try an auto attack? What?
Yeah.
He saw that he had auto attack on, dude. I was like, oh no. That's unfortunate. Because if it didn't clamp onto the minion there, he would have gotten away, I think. Based on the range, but not bad for the mid laners. I mean, it's like 150 between each other, I guess. So it's not the worst situation that Ion has right now. But yeah, much more passive lane here on the top lane because just needs his items. So get the shield up. And the thing is, yeah, this matchup is weird for a fact because both of them have shields and both of them can help him, but another engages on through Devoured. This is how the horse moves here, says Enitsu, as he gets another kill here on the bottom area. Get that regen through and through. Other than that, Zenith Blade on top. Oh, no follow-up though. Stun? Stun him? Not quite.
Yeah. It's a very awkward exchange, but Initsu asserting dominance against Devour there. Forces out the flash from the Lilia too, and gets the kill either way, so yeah, assault to the wounds there for Devoured, but Ion, yeah, they're gonna be happy about that 2-for-1 trade. Number 6 Ben doesn't connect with the Q. They're gonna be backing off from that engagement. No mana to speak of for both Ion bot laners, maybe apart from a single Zenith Blade for Cresho. But other than that, I don't think they're gonna be engaging any further. So quick recall here for the bot laner of Ion, and they're good to go here, looking to have a fresh start in this series.
The fresh start that they need to, as I think the grubs are gonna go up in just a bit. The dragon's up and available. Not quite for grubs yet, as Nitsu is hovering around this top area too. And you see it, right? The difference between the two Hecarim players. Like, I think Devoured wanted to play safe a while ago against Batang 90s because he did have flash, but this time, real Hecarim mains know that you pick Ghost.
Oh, are you
not
calling
flash.
Devoured not a real Hecarim? That's...
I mean, he's playing it safe.
my.
I get it, man. Against that comp, but look how aggressive Enitsu is using that Ghost, man. Like, he has every reason to just go in with the Ghost. Like a while ago, I don't know if if Ghost there against that matchup is a bit justified, but
Okay, Yeah, you do have a point
Comes
there,
something.
but speaking of Initsu's gonna go back in with the charge.
Oh, he's fast!
But not fast enough thus yet. Mikehan walks away. Little bit
Walang
of
nitro, pre. Walang nitro.
May emote pa si Mikehan doon, but the Void Grub is gonna be spawning up. And Initsu not gonna be starting up that yet. Don't necessarily have enough prio in the top lane to go for it, but Hextech Drake getting started this time by Devoured.
Trying to scare them away too. Where is Devoured? Not quite in the area that he wants to be, so instead they just give it up because the dragon's a little bit too far away for them to actually try and smite steal. Doesn't even have the flash as well. So it will be Nitsu securing that dragon for Iron Global. Stating charge. Just to rotate around here for Void Grubs.
Oh.
Perfect spot. Oh, but instead they challenge Calumnia. He misses the shockwave, but saves himself another time to just TP back. But he doesn't have TP for Void Grubs now, so no prio for mid this time.
Yeah, I think Calumnia was trying to predict the distortion play to come through from Mikehan, but Mikehan had him red. Force out the flash, the shockwave too. Mikehan was not in danger at all. Nerves of steel there from the West Point mid laner. Keeps him in this contention as the Void Group's getting started now by Devoured and number 6 Ben. Where is Initsu? He's in the red buff. I think he has enough time to go for the contest should he choose to do so. But I think they've called.
Opposition looking great though, as Void Grubs gonna get secured here for Devour pretty easily without any problem at all. So at least that's 3 Void Grubs for their side. Ion be keeping that dragon. In fact, ooh, distortion, chains play. Cresho is very alone. That is most likely a kill for Mist. Another collection kill here for WPA.
Yeah, Mikehan with a flash forward, the distortion plays, chains connecting on Dawn as well. Forces Crusher to stay alive, to stay away. And he gets destroyed for it. And so far, both teams trading blows. It seems like neither of them are going to let up for now. And I like that both of our junglers actually finding a trade this time. Now, it's not necessarily a one-way beatdown. Calumnia going for a 1v1. But here comes number 6 Ben with
Oh,
the
he's
concussive blows,
stunned.
and that's
He's
the
dead.
stun connecting onto Calumnia. Shockwave just for a little bit of time buying into the command protects, but it's just not enough. Calumnia still goes down. Mikehan 2 on the board now.
2 on the board, and I think Mike had this the best one he had when he played the LeBlanc there. So for WPA, good for them. They can actually play around the LeBlanc this time because they have a lot of squishy characters for the side of Iron Global. So picking up the LeBlanc is not really a bad pick after all, but I do worry though because Deckrim's still available, you know, Volibear has a shield, you know, it's a fat shield. Leon as well, just a big body to deal with too, so Baikian has to pick his targets pretty carefully, and it has to be very good. Swoof though, shield on top, but that's a lot of damage here for Zeros, man. Is he gonna go for Precision Protocol perhaps? Not quite, that's a stun here, no hook shot available. Precision Protocol not gonna be used, and from behind.
What the?
Surprise, surprise, the horsey is here to arrive. Zedblade, oh, flash play, uh-oh.
What is?
Stun? Also for Shadows, sleep. Eat. Oh, the burst kill from Mike Han. And suddenly, oh, the Volibear's up next to the picture. What a conundrum.
What a messy fight. Yeah, what a messy
What a
fight
messy
that
fight.
was.
You know what? We'll take the kills, man.
Yeah. I think it was a 1-for-1 at the end of the day there. Woof, unable to find the kills, but still get to take part in that conundrum. But it's devoured to go down again though, so it's gotta feel rough for the West Point jungler again. But I gotta commend the rotations coming through here from Initsu and Calumnia, always on the jump. And that was so surprising too, Initsu coming from behind the tower with so much speed. Tried to cancel Zero's Hextech ultimatum there. Worked out wonders for Swoof, so nice map play from Ion thus far. Keeps them at the 4-4 scoreline, but this time Swoof doesn't need no help. He's gonna take down Zeros in a 1v1.
Oh, Swoof. What are you doing there? Yeah, that was after the solo kill onto Zero, so this Mikehan will be able to secure a kill. And the best thing is, Dark Seal is available for Mikehan, so getting those stacks up early on is very useful if you want to convert it into a Medjais and make yourself absolutely unavoidable when the fights turn to your side. Dragon's coming up. Less than 30 seconds left, and I think around the area, and Nitsu should be able to collect it, but there is Void Grubs to be taken note of, so if they're gonna trade it, that's 6 Void Grubs for WPA, and I feel like Ion, they are satisfied with taking this trade.
Yeah. Infernal Drake, Ion looking to set up for the late game, which is what their comp is designed for anyway. Remember, they got a Smolder in their midst. And it feels like, despite the Void Grubs being taken by West Point Academy, they aren't necessarily at a point where they could contest these towers. Unless Mikeyan comes around and go for their own, because realistically, Devoured is not finding the impact that he's hoping to get on Distilia yet, at least. And Zeros is just losing straight up in the 1v1 against Swoof, so it's very hard to take advantage of the Void Grubs when all your lanes are constantly getting shoved anyway. So at the end of the day, I think Ion still comes out on top of in terms of the objective trades at this point. Well, that's for now at least. Maybe if West Point wins a big team fight or whatever, they could take advantage of the Void Grubs. But at the end of the day, Ion still have a scaling comp and they're playing it really, really well. In fact, I think they're playing it well beyond what I expected, considering that this is not necessarily a comp designed to win in the laning phase. It's a comp for scaling, but they're already in a pretty decent spot now.
Decent to go for, and even the gold lead is neck and neck too, so it really is anyone's game. No one has flipped the entire script around. So for Swoof and the rest of Ion Global, they are completely not out of it yet, but same could be said for West Point Esports Academy here, as a lot of rotations going to the mid area already. Smolder should be able to rotate on up after clearing that bot wave, so bot rotations coming through. So their biggest priority now is this team fight as Crescio secures the kill over to Ben, who is trying to at least keyword something out of it, but Crescio, I feel like it's gonna be the next victim. Caught, chains, not quite, but here comes Devoured. I don't think he can sleep yet because that's only one person. They'll save it for another time.
Yeah. Now, the biggest headache here for Ion is Mikehan consistently finding the damage, and he's got the most gold in their pockets as of the moment, but unable to find a trade there, so Ion come out with a kill. A 1-for-0 West Point. Gonna be turning their tides towards the Rift Herald, and I don't think Anitsu has a clue here. Yeah, he does not want to contest this Rift Herald at all, which is quite curious. He's gonna go for the bottom lane push, bottom lane dive, up against Zeros. It's gonna be interesting here. Hextech Ultimatum onto Swoof, flashes off to safety, but he gets pushed on out. That's gonna be the TP coming through here from Mikehan, and that's a roam coming in from Ben as well. That's a rampage from the LeBlanc, but can they get the kill from number 6 Ben to Anitsu? Slowed by the concussive blows. It's Mikehan dealing the blunt some of the work
my
here against
goodness,
Crescio down to
damage.
1, and that's Mikehan going unstoppable, trading out a couple of kills for his fallen comrade. A 1-for-2, could be a 1-for-3 now, as Anitsu caught between 3 people, and there you have it. Mikehan goes dominating, as that's a 1-for-3 in favor of West Point.
Yeah, 10 stacks on the Dark Seal too. Maybe convert it to a Medjais now, but I think she still needs to complete some item components for a second major item. No objectives around the area to secure at the moment. So they'll be fine with this type of scenario for now. Just tier 1 getting chunked on through here on bot side, but I don't think Mikeyan can secure the kill because Swoof is around the area, so it's back to the drawing board here for Ion as to what to do with this very rampaging LeBlanc later on in this game.
Yeah, that's the problem that they're facing, right? They don't necessarily have a lot of lockdown potential other than the Leona, but it's gonna be so hard to catch that LeBlanc as a Leona, right? Because you have to invest your Zenith Blade, which is fairly easily dodgeable with a LeBlanc W. And maybe you can flash on him, but after the fact, you have to chain CC him down, which realistically, Ion don't have a lot of. I mean, sure, they've got a push down from Enitsu and Calumnia with their airborns, but only Swoof can stun him, lock him down, really. But it's very rare that Crescio and Swoof are in the same location. I mean, it's true for now, but are they going to be able to catch Maiken with enough damage? I don't think so. So the problem of this LeBlanc gets even harder and harder. How do you shut Maiken down? Especially with the sheer amount of shutdown potential that he has. He can burst down Calumnia, burst down Dawn, so you can't risk putting them in front of this LeBlanc. So the harder you think about it, the tougher it gets to shut down this LeBlanc, especially later on when they do get the stasis available with the Zhonya's from Maiken. So yeah, it's definitely a big problem. But Ion, in the grand scheme of things, don't really have a lot to worry about apart from that LeBlanc. I mean, they're ahead of objectives, they're ahead in terms of map control for now. And as long as they play their cards right and play safe, eventually they're going to be scaling better with Dawn.
Yeah, I mean, for Dawn too, as long as he gets the stacks ready here, I think their scaling and their endgame is as good as secured. They just need to secure it though, because there is so much burst damage coming in from Maiken after that. And then Sukunkasa blows, and they seem to want to enter a fray with the Solar Flare combo, but the Volibear ult comes on through, but everyone's asleep. A Mimir for everyone else. Zeros gets the shield up. That's a double kill. He slammed the Braum down, and Ben is out of the picture now. It's a 3v3. But the Dragon is not on their side at the moment. They can't seem to go in. There's Maiken still in the picture. And my god, he cannot kill the LeBlanc!
They can't. That's for sure. Calumnia even tried to go for a hero play there with the Shockwave Flash again, but to no avail. Makes it into a 3-for-2 trade in favor of West Point. Again, Maiken is just playing them like a puppet at this point, but Ion somehow still finds a bit more objective control here. Maiken comes in again. Dawn is in a bit of trouble. Zenith Blade connects. That could be the signal. And there you go. The shutdown for Dawn. As Ion turned the tide towards the Chemtech Drake, the third Drake here. Number 6 Ben looking to contest. Devour too, but it's a little bit too late. That's the Drake secured by Enitsu.
Enitsu getting another one on the board too. 3 dragons for Ion Global, man. Like, a while ago, I thought that they were able to secure it just because Maiken was still alive, but they managed to get an answer back, and all those Dark Seal stacks went away in just a jiffy. But that but that orb though, I mean, he's gonna get that orb converting, I think, into a Void Staff, it feels like, or something else thereafter. But Maiken, he wants to burst and remove all signs of MR here for every attack for the side of Ion Global. Even though the Volibear has a Visage, it doesn't matter for him.
Yeah.
He's gonna get caught, bro.
And the priority here of Maiken anyway is to remove Calumnia from the equation, right? Remove Dawn from the equation. That's pretty much a very doable act for him, provided he can isolate one of those targets. And consistently, it's been Calumnia that he's been shutting down, right? Calumnia has been unable to find much impact because Maiken just deletes him from the map. Here we go again. Zenith Blade from Crescio doesn't connect. Devoured looking for Dawn. Maiken gets the chains onto Crescio. That's a tanky player. TP2 comes through, but Crescio gonna be giving his life away for now. He knows that there's no way around that. Doesn't even use the Solar Flare, but Dawn forced to flash early though. They cannot lose Dawn at this conjuncture because he's a big factor in their damage output.
Yeah, and WPA being
Wait, Baron?
they're already looking for an angle too, because yeah, Crescio's gone. That's 8 seconds before they're able to move back, so this is a good force for them, but they might be able to flip it around if it so happens. Half HP on the Baron, they're slowly whittling down the HPs of WPA, but it seems to be a turn for the worst for the side of WPA. Here comes Bomb, doesn't hit anyone. Dawn needs to run the hell away because Precision Protocol is right there. Swoof, he's gonna run and turn tail, and WPA back again on the action. They get 3 for absolutely nothing here. In WPA, they're looking to get more. Initsu not able to secure the kill over to Mikey Han. And Baron is as good as theirs.
Yeah, West Point are doing an amazing job of countering Calumnia there. That's, I think, the 4th attempt that Calumnia went for the Shockwave play, and West Point just all flashed away from the Shockwave range. I mean, as if they knew it was coming, as if they knew when Calumnia was going to press that button. Everyone dodged it just like that. I mean, they're reading him like a book right now. I mean, it's just rough to be this Oriana right now. And on top of that, Zeros with the proactivity to jump into the back line, making sure that Calumnia could not get in range. Chipped down to 300 HP, Calumnia was forced to play defensively, which is probably the reason why he couldn't get a proper positioning for that Shockwave. But at the end of the day, West Point, beautiful macro play there. I love the shot calling here from them. Gives them the first definitive advantage of this game. Baron buff secured.
And the first time they have an advantage after playing all 3 games today. They're not used to this type of advantage, but this time they're for sure want to take part in just pushing the tier 1s, but they can't seem to do so yet because there's a scaling Smolder. Like, it's hard. Pretty unusual build too. This is Sojin with Essence Reaver too for Smolder. Like, the last time I saw Smolder getting built a while ago, it had like I think it had Triforce, I think, on this build. So pretty unorthodox, but I mean, if it works for Dawn, I mean, so be it, man.
Yeah. Hey, take a look at the main meaning
Oh,
of that.
what? Solo
Swoop, though,
kill?
hold that. Gets like solo onto the LeBlanc, and then he's gonna go for the turn onto Devoured. Swoop, ult activated, but that shield might
Oh,
be
what
enough
the
to protect.
what?
What is that
The-
feeling?
the hell?
Hello? Hello?
That's Visage. Yep. Yepers. So
Ridiculous.
how do you fight Swoof now? No, he has everything available, but they can't back away. They're stalling time. This
Look
is
at
so good for the side of WPA. The Devoured was just stalling. It was just a ruse, a bait. The entire time he was just sidling the entire time, and I feel like they're gonna get more. There's no one there to help them. And Zeros is going away. He has Dragon on their side as well. I don't know if Iron wants to go for Dragon or not. Do they want to flip it around?
Yeah, this is quite a confusing call for Ion Global, but I think they do want to stay in contention for this Baron, which is why they didn't go for the TP into that bot tier 3. But with the way they're moving around, they're not gonna make it in time now. And it's a little bit too far off, still around the blue buff. Yeah, they're not gonna make it, Doc. That's 3,000 HP left. And what is happening, Ion? They win the single trade, but they lost an inhibitor and a Drake. So yeah, it's a very confusing time here for them. But makes you wonder just how much they can press on, right? I mean, they are still 6,000 gold behind, so there's that. But then again, you got Swoof winning these 1v2s, so I'm not sure what the call is for Ion now.
Very confusing situation for them to that flip a while ago was again the turning point that WPA needed to secure Baron, and so but now we're back to another situation where Ion can just wait for their items to go up, wait for their Smolder to scale up a little bit more, but we'll have to worry though. Mist already has his items up and available, currently deathless in this game. Wants to get more out of this picture. They will try to commit. And Calumnia, goodbye, sir. That's the ultimate landed on you, courtesy of the Camille.
Here comes Dawn.
And Dawn and everyone else is going through. Here comes the big horse. But the damage from the backline, what happened? Lightning crash through and through. And they're looking to end this game on the bot side.
What the heck happened there? Their HP bars vanished here. Dog, I think was it Mikey or was it Devoured? I'm not sure. All I saw was a horse running around into the back line. And then Dawn goes in, and then he was 1 HP. Suddenly, West Point, they're cracking open the base here of Ion. The only one left is Initsu, and he's just not going to be able to do anything about it. What? West Point win their first game of the day against Ion. And I'm not sure what happened.
1 and 2. How How did that happen? Wait, what? That's crazy. You
Oh
know
no.
what? I'll take it.
I'll
You
take
know,
it.
I'll take it. WPA getting the first win. They desperately wanted to get it, and this is how they did it too. First solo kill. Look at that. He clamped on the Dominion. He was like, "All right, that was my bad."
Bump.
Woo! Accidents do happen, but you know, a lot of fights here in the bot side too. And I really thought Ion was gonna get it over WPA just because of that Dragon Soul. But it doesn't matter if you have Dragon Soul if you have the Baron power play behind you.
Yeah. And I love the way West Point just played around this Orianna, right? They didn't give any real position for Calumnia to find big impact on this Shockwave play. I mean, there have been odd one times where Calumnia was able to find a hit with Shockwaves, but not in the fights that matter. I mean, such is the case here. Calumnia nowhere to be found because he's just constantly zoned by Myken and missed. And by the time he gets into the fight, it's a little bit too late already. And again, here at this point, Calumnia gets shut down early. Even at the final fight, look at that. Calumnia, the first one to go down after that Shockwave play that everyone flashed off from. And West Point just not letting that Orianna find any leeway. And let's take a look at this again. Who dealt the damage at the end of the day? It was Mist that was flashing forward with Devour there.
Yeah.
And it was the Storm Surge as well. I think. I'm not sure, but
There was so much damage numbers
Yeah.
there that when we saw it, everyone's HP was at death's door. So I was like,
It's gone.
you know what? Take that win, WP.
yeah.
You
There you
deserve
go. West Point tying up the scoreboard between themselves and their opponents. Ion Global, what a way to end the day for themselves. But guys, the day is not done yet. We have one more game to showcase. It's between the current top seed Kyo up against Batang 90s, currently standing at 1-1. So that's going to be an interesting matchup, but before that, we'll just be having a quick break. This is still Liga Republika. We're still your casters. My name's Zadam with Dropout Candy. We'll be right back with the final game. So don't go anywhere.
Tomorrow is a hope, never a promise.
Gripping with my cold hands the shapes I used to take. Hollow like a strong man, but it's easier to push away. 'Cause it could all end here with a strange daylight caught in our eyes, and my shadow is stretching out through all the things I left behind. It's in my blood, it's in my veins. Oh, it's in my blood, it's in my veins. Got my heel crushing the snake. There is nothing you can take. In my blood, it's in my veins. I'm still here. Maybe it's a far stretch that I won't come undone, but I will brave the cold edge to finish up what I've begun. 'Cause it could all end here with the strange daylight caught in our eyes, and my shadow stretching out, pacing on and off this time. I'm still here. Reasons cut like knives, keep on playing in my mind. All the times I've had to fight, I'm still It's in my blood, it's in my veins. I'm still
Though that this is warded,
Yeah.
Fervent still would like to enter regardless if it was warded or not, even though Chris is already, I think, stalling a lot of time, surprisingly enough, no? Because, great shot!
Just Focus baits it out, but I feel like the damage might be enough for Just Focus to get killed here. But there is a call! The Feather Storm going in! Just a counter engage from MCOM Limit! It's just...
Now they just now have no more turrets and they have the Baron buff. They can look to end this possibly. Azure positioning himself in the back end. There's the Glacier Prison finding Just Focus. Was able to tank it out for Limit. However, it will be Azure in the back end trying to find a kill. Limit goes down to miss. That's the ADC down. Corky, Ame finding the kill. Ember's dividing defensively. But it looks like Siren. Breaker being charged up, but I don't think he wants to really commit this. Just repositioning on forward. Raging does have the unstoppable force available, but I mean, going for Kreza isn't really the most valuable of picks. While Azure, by the way, is pushing out the top lane, but looks like the Magnets are gonna come on. Oh, the more players! Lightning Crash comes on as well. Cyclone the Giant counter engage, but Raging ends up falling as well as done with the double 2 kills on the play. It will be the double kill from Mish, and it will be Mental on low HP. The dive in as well from Kreza will get the double kill as well, and it will be a triple kill from Mish. So much kill pressure. Also having around an 80% kill participation at the moment with, 1 kill and 4 assists. Look at the bait play, and there's the Magnetic Storm, but they don't realize Kageyoshi's still there. They thought he backed away, and they don't have the Glens available this time. Glacier Prison was utilized as well, and Tempo will be getting the kill at the Limit. So Just Focus will be getting Permafrosted as well. Trying to finish the round, gets the crash down. However, the Wild Growth is there, and it
For NJ.
Azra.
Big ops. Money to mamamala kay Azra, but he's not gonna go and fight for Demon, who's in the back line. And here comes the Glacier Prison coming through. MCE, they're looking to collapse despite the tower. And Trusha Proj doesn't deal enough damage from Don as he gets jumped this time by the dredge line. Just focus ba yung tinamaan niya, no? But he's still gonna want to look for a fight kasi anyone can get chipped down. Raging is not tanking enough, and Faithless is gonna go into the back line, shuts down Limit, perfect execution, gets both carries, and Faithless keeps the dream alive for Enemy. Mga laps with Yoshi, instead they're setting up mid flank fights. That's the
Azure being the target this time. I don't think this is a good idea kasi yung gagawin niya. This time, it is Rupert that is taken down. But still, Azure taken down as well. Kaso nga lang, sino ang atake kay Mish? Pati kay Ame, wala na! Ngayon, 3 versus 3, kakayanin ba naman ang dami ng low HP members dito sa side ng Zenith Esports, and they're just obliterated!
Welcome back to Recall. We just wrapped up Group A last weekend.
Welcome back, everyone. You're still watching Liga Republika here. The final game of the day. Sorry about that, Doc. With our group stage, week 3, day 1. And we have a 2-way tie now. Let's see if we're gonna get one more after this game.
Depends, no? Last game, Esports versus Batang 90s. Batang 90s having a 1-2 record. Surprisingly enough, if they go 2-1 here, that would be the most unexpected day 1 we could ever have. But Esports are still looking good here, formerly known as Guardian Side, and they're looking to cement themselves as undefeated for day number 1 here for this last match.
Which is something that I don't think anyone expected. Well, anyone
except me!
you,
except me! Yo! I'm looking at you right now, Wala nag-believe sa'yo. Ako lang. Lahat sila sabi ayon pati WPE. I have screenshots for it.
It's true.
So give me a jersey. Thank you very much. I'm your biggest fan, by the way. Nung invitational pa. So I'd like to see your team win. Currently glazing at the moment, but the glazing is now removed. We're headed into picks bans for our last game for today.
Yeah, let's go. Draft phase for the final game of the day to determine who will come out on top. Will we have a 3-way tie at the end of the first day of Group C here? Let's see. It's all gonna boil down into this. If Batang 90s can win this game, they're gonna be shaking up the leaderboard a little bit. But let's see. It's all gonna boil down with starting with here the drafting phase. First couple of bans. Ivern banned on out by Batang 90s. Interesting stuff.
I mean, I don't even know if this is like a respect ban or not. Are these trying to spell out letters here? Lilia, alright. I love League. And Lilia gonna be the second pick here. Again, very standard as well. Just not letting Cruz pick any of his comfort champs at all. But there is, again, the uncertainty of a Lee Sin going by here in first pick. But all I know for sure is if the Ashe doesn't get banned here, it will be an Ashe on 1. I swear, like every time. Why is it always Ashe on 1? But I know for a fact that Kyo will not pick Ash on 1 because Austerity knows that Ash is not a carry champion.
It's either gonna be an Ash or a Sejuani. The question is if Batang 90 is going to ban Sejuani, right? Sejuani's been one of those consistent performers, so here we go.
You're right.
Gonna be locking that up for themselves. Really nice setup, really good well-rounder. Batang 90 is gonna be responding, of course, with an Ash. Surprise here, Doc. Are they gonna be locking it up?
Ash on 1. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so Ash being presented here. I feel like if they want to combo Morgana, Ash Morgana?
What?
Okay,
What?
there's some solo queue then. Okay. Instantly picking up the Renekton here on 2-3 and mid king only one left here. There's no way Morgana goes jungle, right? Like there's a chance that Morgana can go jungle, but like or mid, but like it's so hard to call right now if that's real or oh my god, it might be. Never mind, that's real support. So it might
sure.
be a mid jungle angle here for the Morgana, which honestly I don't see every day.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a jungle Morgana here. With picking Morgana blind in the mid lane is just way too risky in my opinion. So I think this is pretty safe to say a Morgana pickup here. Batang 90s, they could opt for a Rumble ban here just to make sure that Morgana is not gonna get counter picked, but I highly doubt that's gonna happen. Anyway, especially considering both the mid laner and the top laner is already secured here for Kyo Esports. So I'm excited to see just how Batang 90 is gonna approach this Morgana build. There was what? 2 years ago when Morgana jungle was meta with Rumble jungle as well.
Yes.
And there's a reason people don't do it anymore. It doesn't work as well, at least anymore. So okay, I can't wait to see how they're gonna pull this off. But the one thing that a Morgana does need is setup. It needs a little bit of CC to initiate the fights when she ganks. Maybe a single target CC from the top laner. Well, the bot lane is secure here with the Rel in the hands of Haiwan. But they need something that has lockdown in the top lane. Maybe a Renekton for that matter, but they can't go for that anymore since Renekton is already secured by Cruz. Maybe even
GPOP.
a Volibear. But it's gonna be a Gangplank. They locked it up already here, Doc. This is...
Oh, Shmurda. Okay, I see you. This is crazy. We're having some blast from the past picks here, and I'm really surprised it actually happened.
Gangplank, something we haven't seen in... I think the one thing that we haven't seen longer than a Morgana is a Gangplank. But I'm excited just how Batang 90s is gonna pull it off now. Gangplank is one of those champions that is very, very niche. But when you have a pro player that's a Gangplank player as well, it's almost certainly going to be a treat to watch one way or another, right? So, yeah, excited to see just how that's going to pan out if they do decide to continue on with it. It is just one of those champions that they locked up. Just 1 second, guys. I'm getting word that we're having some technical difficulty, so we're gonna try and fix that up as soon as possible to give you the best broadcast possible. Meanwhile, Doc, what do you think is gonna be the response jungler there? Because the Morgana jungle usually is responded by an AP jungler too, just so they could get rid of that black shield sooner. So are they gonna go for something like a Rumble jungle, or do they already lock something up?
If it's AP jungles, top of my mind, 1000% Brand Zyra. Top choices for AP. If you wanna go the tank route, you can go with your jungle.
Wait, my mistake. They already locked up the Sejuani first, right?
Yeah, they already locked up the Sejuani there, so like there's no need for that too. So I think a Morgana, I don't even know if it's Morgana jungle still or mid, because it is still a hover. We did see a while ago that it was the blind pick Gangplank. So I don't know if it's an accident or if it's intentional that they locked it in, because it did crash when the issue occurred, so it might not be the final pick. But if it is, then they need an answer to the GP, because GP scales heavily into the late game, but early game she's like, it's like whatever, you shoot, you eat orange, and then now it's okay, you know. Shout outs to the old music video way back when in League. Shout outs to the Yordos. I keep listening to their old songs every now and then. They have songs about Tryndamere, old fiddlesticks, Gangplank as well. So if you guys want to listen, if you want some blast to the past, go listen to the Yordles, man. They are my favorite League cover band. I think next to Instalock too. So shoutouts to them. But you know,
Wait,
we're
Doc,
back.
Speaking of sorry to cut you off. But speaking of League music, what's your number one world song? Go.
Number one world song, Rise, followed by Warriors. It's no in between.
Oh, mine's Warriors and Legends Never Die. But Warriors is so goated though.
Oh, I love Warriors. I thought that Warriors would be at the top up until Rise released. And I was like,
really?
I was like, wow. Rise is like as a solo song, because Warriors has a lot of different versions, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But if
There's
we're
a
just
cinematic
talking about
version.
the song in itself, Rise is so good because the scale of it, it was there. Like Warriors is a for everyone song, you know. Rise is like, it's like you want to rise up to the top, you know. The story
Which is-
of is
Alright,
that it's
alright,
from
that's
SSG, right? What's his name again? I forget.
remember.
But it was one from Samsung Galaxy that actually had that Rise video dedicated to them, no? But yun na nga. So it isn't a Gangplank,
It's a Gwen.
it's a Gwen. Okay.
Yeah, which makes sense. They need that cut down potential anyway, anticipating any tanks here from Kyo. And they already have a Sejuani. They could triple down on it with another engaged tanky support here. So Gwen kind of lowers the chances of that and gives a little bit more
Pick that, fellas.
yeah, but it gives a little bit more their way in terms of that engaged support. They could go for something tanky on the top lane as well. It makes you wonder what that is. Lulu getting locked up here by Moops. And I believe that's the first time we're going to be seeing Moops on the Enchanter support today, right? So, yeah, bit of a interesting comp here for Kyo Esports. And there you go, Batang 90s. Smolder?
Smolder mid.
Ah,
Smolder mid.
okay.
It is
Interesting.
a Morgana jungle locked
Mhm.
in. Very unusual, unorthodox too, because if I look at stats here, not a lot of people are actually playing Morgana jungle at all. Very
Yep.
niche pick, but if it works, right? I think we pick Dark Harvest on her, if I'm correct, and then Leandry's Blackfire Torch, and then Leandry's. And then I think Zonia's thereafter. I think on a competitive sense, I think it's just Leandry's and then Zonia's after that, because you need to survive the team fight if you want to use your ultimate. So much more important to survive here instead of dealing full damage, because you have your entire team to do that for you. So
Yeah.
between Kyo and Battle 90s, I was talking about a lot on Morgana, but I like Kyo Esports' copy with it's like again, like 3 bodies in front and Zeri carry. It's very easy for me to say who I want to win this game.
Yeah, and how are they going to access Zeri at this point? And that's withholding the fact that they have a Lulu here. So the more I look at it, the more I analyze the comp here of both Batang 90s and Kyo, the more grim it feels like for Batang 90s, because there's okay, you have a single target CC, you have your Gwen to deal that damage on top of Smolder and an Ash. Sure, you got a lot of utility, a lot of damage, but how are you gonna come in and kill this Zeri, right? You don't even have a lot of gap closers to start off, and then you don't have a dedicated assassin, you don't have a frontline that can weather a lot of this damage from the Zeri and the Yone. So it's really hard to imagine just how Batang 90s is gonna pull this off after the laning phase. During the laning phase, sure, they got a lot of setup potential with the Morgana too, but after that, I'm not too sure anymore. So I gotta double down on you there with the Doc. Kyo Esports is the comp to go here with, for me at least. But we have to wait and see what Batang 90s is cooking up here. Where did this Morgana pickup come from? I don't know, but I can't wait to see it on the Rift.
It's very unorthodox, but again, if it gives us a pleasant surprise, so be it. But pleasant surprise too, as we have to thank, the people that made it happen here, the Riot Games, as well as Day One, our production team at the back end, for making things all happen.
And thank you so much as well to Lightning Dragon and our co-presenter Pouch PH, the top performing saving and investment wallet app in the Philippines. And massive thank you as well to the Games and Amusement Board for letting it all happen. Guys, I want to give a big thank you as well to all our supporters in chat, everyone who's been watching since day one, everyone who supports the teams here as well, and of course everyone who supports me and Doc here on the casting decks. Thank you so much to all of you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. And a huge shout out to the production team, of course. They've been doing a phenomenal job ever since day one of Liga Republika Invitational. It's been such a smooth ride production wise, so big shout out to them.
You've been treating us good, man, and for the teams here as well, because I mean, it would not happen without the players participating in this tournament. And to everyone here that qualified, and to everyone that fought in open qualifiers, thank you as well for participating. But now, here comes the last game for day number 1. If you want Batang 90s to win, give us a hashtag B90win. If you want the OGs to rise up once again and go 2-1 here, surprisingly, in our group stage. But if you want Kyo Esports to win, give us a Kyo win. If you want them to go undefeated here for day number 1, swerving expectations and giving us a perfect way to end our day number 1 here. Let's see what happens, because right now this comp looks very scaly for both sides, especially the Smolder and the Zeri. But I feel like Zeri has the faster power spike here with her items. Smolder later on gets absolutely demolished, if ever, if he gets his items up and available.
All right, here we go, Doc. Final game of the day. Kyo going up against Batang 90s. And it's going to be a very spicy comp here from Batang 90s. We haven't seen this sort of setup in years now. With Dodoy on the Morgana. I wonder what he's going to be able to pull out with this one. Pull off, rather, with this one. Celeste this time on the Yone 2. And a very safe bot lane on Austerity with Moops as the Lulu. So, yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a big task for Batang 90s how to shut down that Zeri later on in the late game. But question is, will we even get to that point? Question is, how is this comp from Batang 90s going to work out? I don't know, but let's see it here. In terms of jungling, Morgana doesn't necessarily have the fastest clear speed, right? I mean, compared to a Sejuani at least, Morgana is definitely gonna have a bit of a rough time going for the full clear, so I would expect a bit of an early gank here at least for the Morgana. Question is where? Probably on the top lane. He is starting up in the Raptors. He would make his way towards Shmurda up against Nezu.
And I think too, it's gonna have a harder time to just gap in general. Like, even though Dark Binding is such a powerful tool, it gets sidestepped very often here, especially in pro play. So I guess you have to just stay a bit passive for now to avoid getting stunned up here by the Morgana, which again, massive root damage, combo damage if it does hit. But the question is if it will hit later on in our match. So for Batang 90s, it's a tough mountain to climb here, especially against a very traditional jungler that is the Sejuani. For now, it's just a smooth ride here on the way to the blue buff. There's no confrontation between the two of them for now.
Yeah, my mistake actually. It's like Todo is gonna go for the full clear instead, which is an interesting choice for this Morgana. But that usually is a trend these days anyway with all the junglers, like regardless of the nature of your jungler. Meanwhile, early skirmish, Cruz goes for the early gank, and that's the first blood over towards Celeste, investing the flash with Soul Unbound. And that is a rough start already for mid game.
Yeah, Smolder is gone. Cruz just going by. They do use all the flashes though, but all sums used up by mid king. Not a good sign for him, as Celeste will be able to just go back, purchase that first item of the game. Yeah, curve bow. Wow, more attack speed for him later on. I think it's a bot RK. First item here for for Celeste, so I'm not surprised yet. Dealing massive damage too. And the best part is they have like no dedicated tanks for the side of Battle 90s. They only have like a Rel, I guess, but like she's a support. But I guess she builds Warmog, so I guess she's a tank.
It seems like Cruz looking to set something up again. This time up against Shmurda. And it's perfect timing too. Just pushing up the wave a little bit deep, but it's quite thick. So Cruz could be a risky gank here coming up top. Ruthless Predator into the slice and dice. That's gonna be the stun. Onto the call, the Meek airborne connects. Stun into the flash, and Shmurda is down. Trade of summoners, but the kill goes towards Kyo. First kill for Nezu on the lane.
Onto the lane too. Another kill on Cruz, and my god, he is having the most stable jungle path ever. Because they know that the Doi is just gonna hard farm here. Not much room to gank at all. But in terms of gold, Cruz is going up in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm down to get the stacks or the damage in from Celeste. A little bit of a poke. Actually, I'm a bit curious that Celeste is going for the Play the Ruined King rush, considering that there aren't much tanky opponents here for Batang 90s. I mean, sure, it's the standard route, but I think I was thinking he would go the more aggressive route of perhaps Immortal Shield Bow, maybe first item, or maybe even a different one entirely.
No.
But here we go again. Stun connecting from high one. Austerity down to half HP. Still has Flash and Cleanse, but Mirmo is out damaged so far. As he's gonna be backing off from that one. No summoner spells used on either side.
No summoner spells, and he's a little bit passive. No? Too much their surprise too, because again, so aggressive, playing Ashe, slow, very good in just stopping Austerity's movement there, and again, forcing to bring Cleanse instead of Barrier just means Miro has enough time to just go in, do all of his damage, because there's no stun technically for the side of Kyo except their ultimates and their abilities. So Batang 90s, top lane is gonna crash. Nezu gonna finish the last two caster minions, and it will force Murda to go back here. TP back? Wait, what? Oh, he just went home. Oh no, he crashed the entire top wave. Oh, that's unfortunate too.
Yeah, it's gonna balloon this
Uh-oh.
CS lead for Nezu. He's already got double what Shmurda has. And he's gonna get even bigger now. And that paves the way for this free Void Drum stick from Cruz as well. That is not good at all, especially considering that this is a Gwen we're talking about. Needs as many resources as she can, but I think she's actually gonna go for a fight on the top side here. Nezu could be looking to dive her. Actually, no, but I think Nezu definitely can. Already has level 6, already has Dominus. Can go in for a flash play, but decides not to for now. Doesn't need to risk anything as Kyo with an early game lead, a 1.6k gold lead before the 8-minute mark.
18 okay. It's a very active game now for the side of Kyo. Because even in the macro game where they just start crashing around their minions, they're also winning in that regard. So Kyo, they are leagues ahead in terms of the macro gameplay, but might be enough for Bata 90s. Again, they play a bit more the classical side, heavily relying on that dragon control to win them the game, as well as the Baron. And this is a bit more modern, no, yung playstyle nila.
Yep.
Once they see an opening, they will go to the tier 3, and if they can, they will just end the game now. So it's a fight of the two game plans, I guess, you know, which really is weird, no? Like, we don't expect the OGs to get here in the first place, but now that they're here, they're like, okay, let's see if this comp still works. So Morgana's a little bit pushing it in terms of age, no? Like, siguro pwede pa sila maglaro ng Brand Zyra, right? But
Yeah.
Morgana, like, bro, whew, it's a bit pushing it, but
Well, let's not discount it yet, Doc.
Okay.
They have yet to do anything with it yet. Maybe now. Dodoy is making his way towards the bottom side. Cruz is here. Look at Cruz. He's just walking up to them. They're going for the dive immediately. That's the Glacial Prison. And Haiwan's going to go for the crash down as he gets destroyed by Austerity. A little bit too tank, a little bit too much damage from the towers. As Moops Austerity
Maybe the
forced to
Doy's
flash off.
cooking.
But Austerity might be going back for more, but Dodoy does
There's
get
no
the
mana.
kill in the end. No mana for Austerity. Flash forward from
Dark
Dodoy.
Binding?
Doesn't have Q
Oh
yet,
my
so
god!
There you go. Gets the bind on
10
Austerity.
years!
That's the double kill from Dodoy.
Okay, maybe I should sleep in the Morgana.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a
maybe
chance,
should.
okay, with Dark Binding. Alright, man. When you level up the Dark Binding, it's way worse for the enemy team because you're just gonna be standing there like, alright, when is it my turn? And then I'm dead. I can't move on. Alright.
Interesting. That was an interesting fight. Cruz just walking up to the tower and then they dome. But again, another fight breaking two. Shmurda up against Moops. Falling up on Haiwan. Both teams just backing off for now as seeing as next big objective spawning up. 2 minutes to the Drake. Just a couple of seconds before the next set of Void Grubs come up. And it seems like Kyo definitely has a bit more vision towards that area. Definitely has more top lane and priority at least. And speaking of which, Nezu ran away with that lead. He's 35 CS ahead of Shmurda, forcing Shmurda to rush the plated steel caps. So
Yikes.
Gwen doesn't deal much damage at this point.
Yeah, it's gonna be invisible here to start the day. I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, having steel caps rush first means that you're gonna be staying a little bit back early on, no? Despite the Doi being around the area. Ooh, it's warded though. So Nezu, this is his chance, you know, just go aggressive. He got revealed though with the alteration lens. But again, Cruz does get Void Grubs. I mean, not bad for them too. Like, that's already 6 Void Grubs. Morgana's already backed away. So this is free. Absolutely no contention for the side of Batang 90s. They have to realize, man, like, Void Grubs still very important here in all of our games today.
Yeah, absolutely. Gives you a big swing of gold, especially if still the third plating are up. With the advantage that the laners of Kyo have, it's not hard to imagine how they could get these plates. Particularly for Nezu, pick up the first item of the game and it's an Eclipse. 40 CS ahead almost, more than 40 CS ahead. And Shmurda gotta be careful now. This is a Renekton in the early game with the first item of the game. And here comes the Wild Growth from Moops. Just a nice disengage tool there, so denying Dodoy and Haiwan of anything.
Sayang. No, like yung Magnetic Storm, I thought that it was to at least put Austerity near, but near at all. So no ultimates available except for the Lightning Crash of Austerity. So if they want to get an engage in, which the rest of the team are actually actively looking for, the Yonas around the area, the Sejuani's around the area, and Dragon's up and alive. They have prio for it. Should secure the second dragon here. This should determine what dragon we're gonna get today here. Infernal and Cloud not gonna be a possibility here, so it might be Ocean or Gem.
Might be, but the first Drake Cloud, or rather the second Drake Cloud, secured by Cruz this time. There you go.
It's
The Gem Tech Drake for the next one. But still, a steady lead for Kyo here. 2,000 and staying around that area.
Uh-oh. He's gonna get caught here. Not that much damage though. So, again, like, Smolder is very weak in the early game. Like, you cannot do anything with the Smolder. Like, you need so much help to get a gank on you, but not so much could be said when they're about to gank you. Yes, you do have Flap Flap to get away, but that's about it for abilities now. Cruz, he's already stole the red buff. That's so unfortunate.
And Dodo is just getting run over. In his
Oh
own
my
jungle
god,
ganks here
he's
at
getting
this
run
point.
over.
Yeah, it's a dark binding down. And see, this is why I don't like a Morgana pick in general. When your dark binding is down,
So he's gone.
you're you're literally just a minion. You can't do
Yep.
anything else. Unless you want to use your ult, but you can't do that every single engagement. And
bot lane.
both Dodoy and Shmurda suffering for it. I mean,
Austerity and moves are gone though.
yeah.
They won the 2v2 in the bot lane. We're gonna see that instant replay in just a bit. Oh, but they were also low, no? Like they were trying to push up. Oh, but the crash down. The shield buff was very important there.
Yeah, nice read coming through there from Haiwan. Anticipating Moops' Q. Austerity Moops taking a step back, but the rest of the team is cruising here for Kyo. At least Batang 90 is finding some leeway elsewhere, as I say that Shmurda just gets dove and destroyed. That should be the first tower bonus here for Kyo. And just like that, they swing the gold right back into their favor. How are Batang 90s going to capitalize on this Ashe advantage is the next big question for them.
They have to solve the Gwen problem too. Like she is invisible in top lane. So that's always top prio for Kyo. And that means most of the objectives here at the top side, which is Baron and Rift Herald, are gonna be secured pretty easily. But at bot lane though, reaction play on the bot, Dark Binding, but that's about it. As the rest of the members here for Kyo Esports should be rotating around the middle area because the bot lane is there. Do they have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow? Doesn't hit. Does get a slow though. Dark. Okay, I love the prediction.
Yeah.
I respect the prediction, but is it or not the snipe from Mom?
Yeah. You can't dodge that.
Nope.
Huge AoE there from Mid King finally getting the kill on that Pesquione. Grand scheme of things gives him a big leeway. It wasn't a shutdown there, no, for Celeste. So it's just a plain old kill with a couple of assists from their teammates. But Batang 90s, at least they keep their deficit at an unsurmountable amount, around the 2,000-3,000 range. But sooner rather than later, they gotta find something with this bot advantage. Because honestly, that's the only thing they got going for themselves. A Bork for their Ashe, or Blade of the Ruined King, that is, for Mirmo. But can they look for team fights at this point, Doc? I'm not sure.
I mean, objective score wise, Kyo still has it. But Batang Knights still have the kill advantage. But I don't think they realize that Batang Knights is actually behind on majority of the macro game. Leaning towards the CS score, most of the players here, like you look at you look at top lane, man. Kyo, it's a 50 CS lead behind that Gwen too. Like, what was the level of Gwen? 10? Nezu's level 12.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, there should be a swap though in turn, just so that he can fight Celeste instead of Nezu. But it's even worse too, because the level between the two of them is the same, and Shmurda is still trying to catch up on levels. So it's a rough time for them. Like even the ADC has the same level as the top lane, so it's gonna be a rough time for Shmurda if they want to get something out of this Gwen pick, because he got counter picked after that.
I'm taking a look at Dodoy's Morgana. Where is that headed? I don't think they've seen a lot of impact on the Morgana, apart from that one bot lane fight, right? So perhaps proactivity isn't the angle for this Morgana pickup. Maybe it's the Black Shield. I mean, could be an angle here for them. Just use the Black
Dragon's
Shield on
up.
Mirmo. But the Dragon is up. He'll already first on the jump here. Good zoning coming through. Celeste with the knock up onto Haiwan, but stun onto Cruz. Here comes the Magnus from Haiwan. The double knock is Austerity trying to stay alive, but
Dominus!
The Fate Shield onto Mirmo. They jump on the Ashe, and that's already the biggest damage to their down for Batang 90s. Shmurda out as well. Celeste is just wreaking havoc in the back line. Austerity just jumping through the wall. That's an ace almost here for Kyo. Leaving Mid King the only one left standing after the Baron has been taken by Kyo. They could siege all of the lanes here with Celeste not really in any threat from this moment.
No threat at all, and yes, he also has the lifesteal to boot, so They need anti-heal. They need a lot of things to make it happen here for Batang 90s. But Kyo, they are looking like the team to beat here for day number 1 as all or most of the tier 2 towers are going down in just a bit. The funny thing too is that they have the jungle too. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
like,
it's everything.
oh my gosh. Every objective, like, Cruz doesn't need to do anything at all. You just throw out the Glacial Prison and technically your job's done. Just keep applying permafrost to everyone else. Bata 90s, they have a hurdle to climb here. Despite Morgana having 2 kills and 3 assists, the rest of the team ain't doing good in their regard too. Except Mirmo, who's always been picking the Ashe though, but with mixed feelings for all of them too. So Cruz sees Haiwon, and I feel like Shmurda's next to chopping block.
There you go. Glacial Prison. Shmurda's got nowhere to go anymore. A bit of movement speed for a little bit of time buying, but Celeste is just going to chase him down with the empowered Qs. Final nail in the coffin there is that Yone, so Shmurda just goes down with Haiwan. And you did mention Doc Mirmo is arguably the most powerful person in their roster right now, but it's an Ashe. It's still very easy to lock down, especially if you consider the composition here of Kyo. You got 3 that can jump into that Ashe. You got Celeste, you got Cruz, Nezu as well. And all of them has enough damage to shut down that Ashe. Even Cruz, I dare say, because it's an Ashe. It's very squishy, immobile, especially now that it doesn't have flash. And it's very rare that you're going to catch an Ashe with their ult, right? As much as possible, you want to use your Enchanted Crystal Arrow proactively. I botched that pronunciation, by the way. And it's... when you jump on him, typically, it's not going to have it, so... even if you're gonna have the most advantage in your Ashe, it's still a lone Ashe at this point. Hyoen's not gonna protect him. He's gonna try and engage the fight. So who's gonna be left to protect Mirmo? Maybe a black shield from Dodoy, but that's it.
That's it. No, just too slow. No dark binding. So hard to go on through because I think they don't know that Austerity's cleanse is not up yet. So they're putting caution to the wind yet because they don't know how many members are behind that bush. And Kyo, they're looking to clear up the wards here in Baron Pit. They're gonna start it soon enough.
Looks like it. They definitely have enough damage for it. I mean, 2 items on both Yone and Austerity. However, looking to find the kills instead. Dodoy already used up the Dark Binding. First flash away, Black Shield to dodge away at the Fate Shield. Will be keeping him alive for now, but almost going down there. Very risky stuff, but because of that play, I think they could go for the Baron now.
Of course, the Baron Morgana's gonna run back without using recall at all. So, plenty of time for Kyo Esports to just secure this without any opposition at all. The Gwen is TPing around the area too. So they're trying to flip it around. Shmurda, oh no, he didn't hit his ultimate. Uh-oh, that should be problematic. Shmurda, mom activated, called on true. Celeste is very low. He's gonna die to the Baron though, perhaps. Lightning crash onto Austerity. This is a scary moment. Gets 1. Rampage for 2. He's gonna cleanse it up, dash it up, and secure the ace once again for the side of Kyo.
Yeah,
Quadra kill for Austerity.
Very cleanly done for Cleo, almost getting perfect ace there. Celeste just goes down to the Baron, but it's okay. They're gonna take it nonetheless. A 10,000 gold lead, and it's destined to balloon here for Kyo. And Battle Knights can't do anything about that at all. Something I'd like to point out though, an interesting build from Celeste. Trojan after the Blade of the Ruined King. You know I'm gonna try this after this game on the Yone. But the fact of the matter is, Kyo, a very secure lead at this point. I'm not sure what Battle Knights can do anymore. Maybe they could try to look for pickups, but you'd be darn lucky if you're gonna spot any single player here of Kyo isolated. Because the way they're playing right now, Doc, you're looking for team fights, you're looking to end the game.
Yeah, let's end the game here. The Dragon as well. I don't think Kyo's gonna look for Soul though, because they already have the Baron, so they'll just secure the 3rd Dragon for them. But after that, they'll start sieging around this top turret first and then siege everywhere else thereafter. Because, yeah, you can notice, right, the differences between the comp. Battle Knight has no front line. It's so hard to go in.
Especially with the Baron buff. Marching down into your base.
Shutdown though.
So shutdown onto Nezu actually. That's the pickoff I'm talking about. But at what cost here, Doc? Their base is getting marched on. It's getting pressed on further. Mid King, the only one here to defend. Can he actually hold the line here against the bot lane of Kyo? I'm not sure. Nope. There you go. That's one in him down. And here comes Celeste. Going in. Soul and Bound active. Still has Fate Seal. Can go in and initiate the fight. But they're just not looking for it. They just want to take down these towers. And here comes Cruz from the flank, walking up to the entire team. The Sejuani
Glacial Prison doesn't hit.
Away. Glacial Prison doesn't connect, but it doesn't matter. Mirmo still has to flash over it. And here comes Mid King trying to find the damage as the Smolder, the savior of this game. Can they actually do it? Nope. That's Mom being called upon, but yo, they don't want to fight. They just want to in him, so they got two.
Not two, but in turn they get the top tier 1. For Batang 90s, that's a bounty they'll at least get. But at what cost? 2 inhibs for them. And they might start marching into the top tier 1. But oh my goodness, Hey1. Too aggressive there. There's someone there to support you from behind. There's the Morgana still. But at this moment in time, Kyo, this lead absolutely going out of hand. There's no objectives for Batang 90s to secure at all. So it's just them warding around the area and hoping for the best. Once again, it's not looking good for them.
Not at all. It hasn't for quite some time now, Doc. 25 minutes into the game. Mid King could be the savior here. He's the angle that they can play for, but they need so much time for that to even come to a possibility. But Kyo is just wanting to end the game right here. Right now in the top lane, with the rest of the lanes already pushed up. Dark Binding connects, okay, but doesn't really amount to much, does it? As Celeste just walks it off for now. That's 4 people here on the top side. The only one missing from the squad is Austerity. But Batang 90s have to dedicate players to defend their middle side, their bottom side as well, getting pushed up by the super minions. But the one good thing about their comp, Doc, they have so much wave clear.
Wave clear. Wave clear. Like, you can't clear the wave if there's so many people in front of you too. Mirmo tried to clear the waves as soon as possible, but what else can she do at this point, man? It's a small march into this top tier 3.
Ooh.
The arrow doesn't connect too. They can still survive here with the wave clear of Smolder. But how else will they be able to get out of this sticky situation? Mirmo just slowing them out. Not possible though, but a counter engage for them.
Yeah, Highland actually goes in, Crashdown doesn't connect, but the Magic Storm gets 2 of them, but he's isolated, doesn't have any backups, he's just gonna go down. Meanwhile, the triple from Austerity as he destroys everything behind that Rel, including their Gwen. That's the Quadra for that Zeri, and the ace afterwards for Kyo. That's the base should be Batang 90s destroyed by Kyo. A one-way beatdown as Kyo take their 3rd win of the day. Absolutely amazing stuff for Kyo here.
Wow.
The cleanest run. I believe that's the cleanest run we've seen of all the group stage days. I think so. Yeah.
It was the cleanest too. I can't believe they went 3-0. At the most unlikeliest of fates, they were calling it as a dark horse. Kyo Esports. They're not looking like a dark horse. They're looking like a beautiful unicorn hanging on to the sky there with that 3-0 scoreline at the end of day 1. That was amazing.
You know what that means, Doc? You know what that means?
Yeah?
The score of Batang 90s before this game was 1-1.
Everyone is 1-2.
Everyone is 1-2 apart from Kyo.
I can't believe it, man. I can't believe that the favorites to win in this group are 1-2 at the moment.
I know, it's crazy.
And the best part is that's just day number 1. I wonder what happens for day number 2. Like this, I'm not gonna say anything because I wish everyone the best.
Wait for Kyo to go 6-0.
I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah, 6-0. Yeah, that's what I want to expect, right? But if
That's crazy.
if someone hexes them, I don't know, man. I don't know what will happen. So, but today, they'll be happy.
Keeping his hands clean.
I'm keeping my hands clean today. But for now, Kyo Esports, the 3-0, I'm happy for them. Predictions have been right all along, obviously, because I'm the best predictor. You know. Sana, I think tomorrow I feel like it's a big adjustment for everyone, no? Like I know they're eating dinner right now, they're watching the stream, they're looking at the VOD, they're practicing, I think. They have to change the game plan, no? Not a lot of double ADCs. The one time we saw the double ADC setup, it didn't work out too. So mainly traditional comps are winning here in Group C, and for good reason too. Like, it's hard to pilot the double ADC, no? Kung hindi ka sanay talaga mag-ADC.
Yeah, it takes a lot of getting used to say the least, and we don't really see a lot of that even in solo queue sa Pilipinas, no? Much less in competitive, but here we go. A deeper look into that game, Kyo, with a phenomenal game, a 20-9 scoreline, 11-1 towers, 16,000 gold lead, no less, and a dominating win. A dominating day overall for the reigning champs of Liga Republika, Kyo. They dropped the GH banner, but they definitely are still the same team, the same force to be reckoned with. Can't wait to see them again tomorrow. I mean, there has to be some changes for Ion, for Global, and for West Point, and for Batang 90s.
Yeah, but for now, yes, we have to say goodbye for now for day number 1. Tomorrow, though, same schedule as for a while ago, 4 p.m. for all of our action here on the League of Legends page. We also have our YouTube and Twitch streams on day 1 PHL. Again, that is day 1 PHL for the Twitch and YouTube streams, as well as the League of Legends page for the Facebook stream. But that is it for us. I think we're gonna have, can we take a look at the results for the bracket for day number 1? Is that possible? There you go. 3-0.
Wow.
Ion Global Esports, Batang 90s, and West Point Esports Academy 1 and 2. And these names could be interswitched here come day number 2, because that adjustment has to be said here. We're gonna have a big talk on the backstage to whoever wants to win this one here tomorrow at 4 p.m. tomorrow. But that is it.
I think that's the craziest score lines we've had of all the day ones we've had, right? We've never had a 3-0 of all we've had, but what better way, which better group to do it in than in the death group, or the group of death. But I believe that concludes our day here, Doc. This was Liga Republika Week 3, Day 1 of the group stage. We will be continuing it tomorrow. Whoever has the most wins tomorrow will move on to the playoffs. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to our sponsors for making this all possible. Thank you to our co-presenter, Pouch PH, the top performing savings and investment wallet app in the Philippines. Thank you so much as well to Lightning Dragon, and of course to the games and amusement boards for making it all happen.
Yeah, day 1 as well as Sprite Games as well, because without them, this entire stream would not be possible. But between the two of us, Dropout Kenny Datum here, as well as the prod at the back, we will bid you guys adieu. We'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. for the next set of matches.
Welcome back to Recall. We just wrapped up Group A last weekend, and we now have our first teams advancing to the playoffs. The rift is getting louder as this group made waves with their incredible plays. But the action doesn't stop there. Let's dive right into this week's Recall. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Poch Estrada, your guide through the action here on Recall. This is your weekly recap for everything Liga Republika. Now, let's jump right into the Group A highlights and see what went down. First off, a big congratulations to MCOM Esports Club and Fervent Esports Club. They've secured the top seeds in Group A and are now advancing to the playoffs. Welcome to the big leagues, boys. Now, it's time to break down the highlights that happened in Group A. MCOM Esports had a rocky after winning their first match against MCOM. Fervent lost to Zenith Esports and even to MCOM after pairing with them again on day 2. It was the combined effort of mid laner